What's up, faithful? What's up, faithful? What's up,
Going
faithful?
down.
Hey,
We are cinematic.
Yes,
All right,
sir. We
yeah,
outside.
no,
Prez, good.
yeah.
Prez, good looking on that, Prez.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened on my end or maybe on this end, but anyway, yes. To our faithful viewers, welcome to our show, the Always Faithful 24/7 show. My name is Mark underscore Faithful 87. I'm gathered with my brothers, Prez, and my uncle Keith. What's up, guys?
hey, what's going on, Mark and Mark?
All is well, man. All is well. All is well. Like my boy Prez always said, we outside.
You've heard.
Like you stand here in Florida, we in the sunshine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But this
Well,
broke air condition is worse than putting a rat and a cat in the same bag and hoping something good comes out. It just ain't gonna happen.
how's the weather out there, Uncle Keith?
Whoo, good grace. It's hot enough ice cube and too cool for a fan, man. It's
Really?
just bad. My AC's out.
Okay.
Brand new unit and it's kaput.
So it's out. Oh, okay. So you got the fan
Yeah.
going?
Man, I got the fan going. I'm thinking cool thoughts. I got a sweating beverage.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to show that, was it?
Okay. Hey, man. They don't know what's in. They don't know what's in it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I kind of told on myself.
Oh man. To our faithful viewers, we as a faithful huddle, we thank you for your time and support. We ask you all to hit that like and subscribe button. Please tell a friend and another friend and another friend, as well as yourself, to hit that like button and your family members that
Yes.
represent 49ers. Again, we appreciate your time and your support.
Absolutely.
With that said, to the faithful huddle, let's just dive right into the 49er news. Um, as I was saying earlier, I'm just going to say it again due to some technical difficulties on my end. I take responsible on that. Kyle Shanahan had a press conference earlier today about 4 to 4 Eastern time. He relayed that Deebo Samuel with the hamstring, Kyle Juszczyk with the finger, although he had surgery on the finger Monday. Drew Greenlaw with the calf injury. Samson Ebukam is still dealing with the Achilles tendonitis since the Carolina game. Juwan Jennings, this is new to me. I didn't know this. Juwan Jennings is having a hamstring injury. And Eric Armstead is still dealing with his foot and ankle injury. These 6 players did not play today. I don't know if this is a concern with all 6 players. I do know for a fact Samson Ebukam has been dealing with this Achilles injury for a while, and he's been playing. And being that he didn't practice today, and being that I'm pretty sure we have concerns regarding Deebo and Juwan Jennings, and I might as well say all these players. Guys, what are y'all thoughts regarding these 6 players? What are y'all thoughts as far as them being available this Sunday against the Rams?
And looking at all the players that are up there, it's of high concern to me. But this is something we've dealt with year in and year out.
Yeah.
Inopportune injuries. And that's where your coaching comes in. I mean, you got to be able to scheme around. And the GM is involved in this also. He had us deep at all these positions. We got multiple players that can catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
We have more than one fullback. Our defense is taking a hit. So it's very, very concerning. But with great coaching overcomes that. Put the people in there, you simplify things, and you make it happen. And I think our team this year has shown one thing, if nothing else. They get up for big games, and they plateau for games they think they should win.
Right.
So am I concerned? Yes. Am I overly concerned? No.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. What's up, Press?
I mean, I think the biggest one to me on this, based on how we've been playing and the struggles that we're having, I think Juszczyk being out is huge because he's just such a big-time blocker, man. And he brings experience, you know what I'm saying, especially experience with McCaffrey coming in. And then obviously Deebo. And then Jawan, I mean, it's like those are all big time players, man. At this point, I can't remember the last time Arik Armstead even played. So the fact that they chose not to put him on IR and he's not played in how many games and we're struggling on the line, it's just like what are y'all doing, bro? Like there's just certain things, and it's just like I don't know, man. But it's year after year, it's the same shit. And if we being completely honest, it's the same players.
Yeah.
Good point.
You know what I think is good point, and I agree. I think the reason why, because it's I think it'd be lingering regarding these same players. You know, some people say, "Oh, it's bad luck." It could be both. I don't know.
Could it be coming back too soon?
That's a possibility. That's a possibility. I mean, anything's possible, but that's a possibility. I just know that the doctors give the coaches the okay for the player to go back out there.
And the players also encourage the doctors for the okay. I mean, I played football, you played football. If I had a hitch in my get up, I'd walk like I was James Brown doing a moonwalk trying to get on that field because I like to play.
Exactly.
You said an interesting note real quick on you said.
Yes.
He's caught 96% of his targets. That's unheard of for a person being used once every 15 passes.
Yeah. I mean, finally, you remember he was only getting like one?
I was screaming for him, remember?
Exactly. He was only getting like one. Now he's starting to average from 2 to 4.
And 4 for 4 while doing it.
Exactly. Because it wasn't expected. And it was never really, how can I say, it wasn't utilized as of now. With that said, I have concerns regarding Debo. Jawan Jennings, yeah, I do. But, Debo is our starter, on offense. Our offense needs to score points. So my concern is Debo. I didn't know about this injury until I heard about it. Today's Wednesday. I heard about it yesterday. I didn't hear about it Monday. I heard about it yesterday. And I was like, oh shoot, he got an injury, a hamstring. So once I heard that, I thought automatically he's gonna be out for a while. Because one thing you don't mess with a hammy.
Yeah.
You follow? So, and he had he's been having that issue before. I think he had a hammy.
He's had it pretty much his whole career here.
Well, in 2020 and also last year. I don't remember 2019, but I definitely remember 2020 and 21. I definitely remember that.
Excuse me.
I remember they sat him out and won a game against Seattle, and we needed him, and I think we lost that game. I think it was 2020 or 21. But I'm real concerned about that if he's not right to start against the Rams, because we need that game. And like I was saying earlier, the Rams is coming off a bye week. They're well rested. They're well prepared. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be focused against this, for this particular game.
Do you think any of these players will be playing?
Say it again?
Do you think any of these guys can make the game?
Sam's Ebicom, yes.
What about Debo?
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. That's why I'm concerned about that one. I think we will know more by Friday or Saturday regarding Debo.
One thing about Debo, he's a gamer. He'll play hurt.
Yeah, but Uncle Keith, you don't want that hammy to tear.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shouldn't play.
Yeah,
you have to bye week the next. You have to bye week the next, and we just bring in Christian McCaffrey. Fucking figure it out, man.
Right. So that's why I was saying that's my biggest concern, because that's one of our strongest weapons. And I agree with Prez. If it's a hammy, although I want us to win Sunday, and I know all three of us do, but if it's a hammy, I wouldn't start him if it's a hammy, because God forbid, like, you don't want anything to happen to that hammy before the bye week.
especially after you gave him a bag of money.
Exactly, man.
I want to say something to you guys about this whole injury list.
Yeah.
Of all the things on here, the hamstrings are the ones that concern me the most, but are also some of the most misleading classifications of injury. You can rest a sore hamstring and it not be completely debilitating, and you give them a chance to heal. We got guys running some hard routes out there that aren't getting them all.
Right.
And sometimes people come up lame out of frustration. I'm just putting it out there.
Right. Right. And you just said it. You just said the word regarding Debo. He runs hard.
Yes. That's how he gets away with it.
Right. And being that he runs hard, whatever leg it is, that's why I was saying I agree with Prez. I would sit Debo out.
Okay.
I wouldn't start him. And being that I'm saying that, I'm like, yo, who's the next man up?
We already know who that is.
Shit. It's Ayuk. Like it need to be.
No. He's the starter. I'm talking about who's the next man up to cover for Debo.
Oh, it got to be Danny Gray.
That's my point. But my thing is like, that's the thing. That's the question. Will it? You feel what I'm saying? Like, will it? You follow?
Yeah. That shit. Ron need to be out there. We can sit to do it. Ron need to play.
So I'm saying y'all both was talking. My bad.
Who else could do it besides Gray?
But I want Gray. But I'm just, matter of fact,
nobody really. I know who I'm tired of seeing out there. I don't want to see Ray. I don't want to see Ray McLeod out there on them.
Yeah, I was thinking that, and I
don't want to see Ray McLeod out there no more, dog.
I would say this. Let me pull up.
He can't run routes. He's always falling down. It's just like, nah, man, that ain't it, bro. That ain't it.
While you're saying that, let me.
They need to bring up Malik Turner.
Let's y'all can see that, right?
Yeah, the depth chart. I
right.
see it.
So it's just like what you said, Prez or Uncle Keith. I said Danny Gray, or it could be Malik Turner.
Yeah,
I'm with that.
Shit, Juwan need to be out there, bro. Juwan's contract ain't Debo's, and if he can play, he need to be out there, man, because we need that big target. And they need to bring up Malik Turner, man. I don't want to see Ray out there no more, dog.
You said Juwan? You said Juwan early? Not to replace Debo.
No, I'm saying with Debo not being it. No, Debo is on $100 million contract. Juwan's not. So
I know, but you said we need Juwan out. I'm talking on Debo. I'm saying like,
yeah.
Debo, I'm saying like, who's gonna take his spot? And being that's why I pulled this depth chart up. And my thing is this: if Danny Gray starts over Malik Turner, and maybe rightfully so as he should, then we may be going with Danny Gray.
Should he better as a third round pick? He better be out there playing.
Exactly. So
yeah, no, I mean I'm bringing Malik Turner. I'm bringing Malik. You make Ayuk 1. You probably make Malik 2, and have Danny as 3 because Danny's more of a slot, anyways.
Danny's more of a slot.
Yeah,
he's multitask on the offensive line.
No, I'm saying as far as how they use him, they use him.
That's how they use him because of the scheme. I want to say he's just a slot. Like, he. Yeah, but
Malik can't run the slot. Malik's not a slot. He doesn't run routes like that. That's why I'm saying Malik. That's why I'm saying Danny needs to be in the slot because he's the one that can run those routes effectively. Malik is a big body. He don't cut and turn, and he ain't fast like that. You can't have no slow person.
Respectfully, I would keep Ray as a slot and have.
I'm cool. I'm cool on Ray. I'm cool on Ray. Why he's getting playing time with his many drops and he's a bad route runner.
Yeah, he's run out of his route more than one time.
He's just a bad route runner.
That's why I say he's better at slot because with his speed, he can beat you and get a little bit, just enough of separation. That's what I'm saying. I think he's better at slot. That's why I agree with both of y'all. If y'all saying that if Debo don't start this Sunday, our best bet is to have Danny Gray step up. And I agree with that because just looking at this list, this
Yeah,
depth chart.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm
Right.
not saying.
Huh?
I'm not saying that. I've not said that. I said that 2 needs to go to Malik Turner and run Danny Gray out of the slot.
Okay. So you're saying to start Malik Turner over Danny Gray?
Correct.
Okay. That's on me. My misunderstanding. So, Keith, what you think, Keith? Who you think should take Debo's position if he was not to play this Sunday?
Based on speed, Malik. Based on, and then I don't like Ray McLeod. Anything?
Speed Malik.
Huh?
Malik is not faster than Danny Gray.
No.
You said based on speed.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about I got stuck with Ray and Juwan. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But Debo, Danny Gray, if Debo doesn't start, of course, you move Danny up.
Yeah.
But who would you have backing him up?
Who?
Danny Gray. If Debo's just not playing.
Malik Turner.
Okay.
That's why he's on the practice squad.
Okay.
And that's the thing. We don't know probably until Friday or Saturday if Debo is a go.
Let me just say this.
What's up?
We're talking about a position we're not throwing to, routes we're not throwing to, because even with Debo in the slot, he's still not doing slot runs because they can't give him the ball.
You said Debo in the slot. You confuse me when you say that.
Well, as Debo's wide receiver, Z-Route, whatever you want to call it.
Right, wide receiver. He's wide receiver 2.
Right. So with him in that position, but you're talking about running fly routes and all that kind of stuff and going downfield, expanding the field.
Right.
But Danny can do that. Malik Turner can do it over the middle. But can these guys get the yak? I think Danny Gray's better at it than Malik.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is they might switch it. Let's just say Debo don't play this Sunday. Let's just say that. Let's just say we already know that. I'm thinking Cal might use Danny Gray to expand the field by have Danny Gray go all the way down the field and have Ayuk does cut in the middle and stuff like that.
Right.
Because we know Jimmy G's strength is in the middle, hands down. Of course, we know that they got to catch the ball. That's another situation. So I mean, again, like I said, I'm good with Danny Gray. If Debo don't start, I'm good with Danny Gray. Only thing is we just don't know. They probably know and probably don't want to tell us yet. You follow what I'm saying? Because again, you don't want to mess around with a hammy. So, with that said, I don't know, guys.
It's a lot. It's a lot, Mark. It really is because there's so many possibilities, and we've been dealing with it all season, and that's part of the instability of the team.
Right.
Right. We could talk about injuries all night long on both sides of the football game, and who could do what, and we don't know until almost game time half this team.
Right. And you know what? I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You're good.
No, I was just gonna say, what's so crazy? And maybe I forgot, but it was no mention of Kinlaw. Unless Kinlaw is still on the IR.
He's on IR. He's
on,
and I had a list up, but I wasn't looking. I was more concerned.
He's got 2 more weeks at least.
Okay. All right. So honestly, and I agree with you, Prez. Ben, you was talking about Cal's use check. I think TDP will probably have to step in.
I think that role goes to Warner.
Yeah, I don't want TDP in there.
Huh?
I don't want TDP in there. I'd rather go to Warner.
The backup fullback.
Yeah.
Warner's the backup fullback.
Warner's the backup fullback.
Is the backup fullback.
Warner?
Yeah, Charlie Warner. That's the only reason he's on this team, because he's fucking horrible, man.
Really? No, I ain't saying I'm not disagreeing with you as far as he's horrible. You were saying they would have him as a fullback, being that he's a tight end.
Yeah, he ran it in preseason. He did it last year.
And y'all don't vision TDP like no being in these snaps just for like a block and stuff like that. Okay.
Do you think who thinks a better blocker, TDP or Warner?
I mean,
Warner's got the size. He's played tight end. He's used to blocking.
Yeah, and Croft will be back.
Yeah. I mean, TDP, I'm impressed. I'm not overly impressed. Now, still, for the life of me,
TDP is running himself out of that offense from last week.
For the life of me, I still don't know how he got past Mason.
Well, he runs hard. You follow what I'm saying? I mean, I don't really know the answer regarding TDP. I just see, I can see him develop as that fullback, even though he's a running back. He just has a bigger body than Mason.
Okay.
I mean, that's just what I see. I could be right. I could be wrong. I don't know. But
Interesting.
I don't remember seeing Warner being back there. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I really don't know. I'll be shocked to see Warner back there instead of along the line than TDP.
But you know what? No matter who's out there, we still got a scheme right and execute.
Right.
I mean, they don't play the healthiest player, the best player the coach thinks is going to be in that position, and we could throw it against the wall 50 times and still be wrong.
Right. Got you. Cool. All right, so listen. Any expectations regarding our game that's coming up?
Yeah. I'm going to call this segment Truth or Consequences. Either we be truthful about where we are and the plays we missed on both sides of the ball and the schemes and the play calling, or we're going to get brutalized again. When we are committed to playing our hardest and discipline, I mean, look how many times our DBs were out of position, over pursuit, and didn't stay in the run lanes. Look how many times our receivers overran their routes. Look how many times the ball didn't get to them. There's enough to go around. If we play like we played last week, we're going to get blowed out.
Yeah, I agree.
If we scheme like we schemed last week, we're going to get blowed out. Don't even get me started on McCaffrey averaging 8.2 yards per attempt and then not being used for an entire quarter.
No, entire half. He had 4 snaps in the second half.
That's correct. I'm sorry.
But y'all hear what Kyle said?
No, we didn't. What did he say?
I'm trying to hear Kyle's excuses for his lack in his best players.
After the game, they was asking him regarding that, and he was saying that he wanted to be fair to him. He said that it wasn't fair to him as far as giving him more plays. So they asked him. I want to go about what he said.
We got to stop someplace. What the hell do you mean it wasn't fair when a man averaging 8.2 yards per touch, and we getting our butts handed to us? You want to be fair to me as a fan? Give me your best effort the entire game. If he gets tired afterwards, remember that bag of money he's going to go home and rest on.
Hey,
there's no excuse for not using that.
The dude has averaged almost 25 touches in Carolina every week. Shanahan simply does not know how to use his best players together on the field at the same time.
I hear you.
You gave me agita.
I hear you, bro.
I want to be fair. Like, this goes back to what Silverado Kev was saying last week and me was saying. Shanahan will lose his way before he will win another way.
I would say this. At least he did play, though. Because there was a time that we didn't know he was going to play. Because Christian McCaffrey, he said he wanted to play. But when they had picked him up, Kyle was given the impression that he don't know if Christian was going to play.
You got a guy getting 25 touches a game. Nobody else on your offensive team is getting 25 touches a game. That guy's in more game shape than anybody you got on your entire offense, and you give him 5 straight plays and goes over 50 total yards of offense, and you don't know if you should use him? Hold on. Let me check this class again. There's no excuse for that. There's nothing you can tell me to justify not playing him more.
Facts.
Make everything else easier for the offense, which is what he does in every game I've ever seen him play in.
Probably ever played.
You count for him all the time, at least 2 people and a spy. What does that do for the rest of the field?
Okay.
That's why you made this bad trade. It was a steal. It's like stealing the Hope Diamond and breaking it down into the industrial chips. You got a bunch of diamonds, but they ain't worth nothing. You got to throw that big rock.
Listen, I feel you. I agree with you.
Merce, hold on a minute.
Listen, at least we got something out of nothing because it was
It amounted to nothing if not used properly because we stunted our own efforts. We were winning.
We got an L. That's what we got. Andy Reid ain't playing him 4 times and coming out and saying, "Yeah, man, I didn't play him because I didn't feel like it was fair." Bill Belichick ain't saying that. Sean Payton ain't saying that. The best coaches in the league ain't saying that dumb shit, man.
And they're not saying that we didn't have enough time to practice to fix our mistakes because people were injured.
He can't make adjustments. Shanahan can't make adjustments, bro. So if he feels like he can't block, if he feels like for whatever reason he can't block, or the real answer is Shanahan's more confident having Jeff Wilson back there because he feels like he knows the system. That's the real answer. It ain't I didn't want to use him or anything like that. It's like Shanahan makes the most backhanded excuses and people just ride with it.
Okay.
Let's just say this. If we were to dissect it all, but with what worked, or what didn't work, and what we've done before and seen before, this would have been the perfect game. We had something that was working and we stopped using it. We have something we're asking the quarterback to do something he's not capable of, and it exploded in our face. We got the typical Jimmy Gimme at the most inopportune time. All right. We got Williams who came back, I think, a game too soon, got beat in the end zone because you turned your quarterback into a 7-step drop in your own end zone. That is the dumbest thing when you're down by 2 touchdowns, is to have your quarterback almost to the back of the end zone. If he didn't get sacked, he'd have ran out the end zone with any kind of pressure. It was destined for failure. That is not something that's about execution. That is about scheming. And if you got a weapon like McCaffrey inside your 5, I'd rather have it in a 25 carry. I'm going to bust it out at all excuse guy, handling that ball from there to give me some breathing room than to do what we did, which was ridiculous. We did not use all of our assets, so we can't blame the ones who didn't execute for not executing because they weren't in a position to execute. And I think this game, more than any other game, Jimmy's gimme notwithstanding, was lost by the coach. Okay. I said it. Yeah, I said it. And anybody come at me, come with it. I got receipts.
Hey, listen.
I got receipts. I ain't seen nobody comment. I said it. Shanahan cost us this game. He schemed us right out. He fell right back into the same rut. We gave him a shovel. We gave him the biggest shovel when we signed Devo. And then we brought in McCaffrey, which is a backhoe, to really dig us out. And what did we do? We ran out of gas. We cut it off. With a tank full of gas, what I meant to say. We didn't use them.
You talking about McCaffrey?
Yeah. He's a boulder. He's a backflip. He could have dug a trench around the stadium. Can you imagine if he had just had 5 more touches in the most opportune times? What that would have done for the game. It would have at least been 3 first downs, which would have kept our defense off the field a lot longer.
Right.
And you said it early in the game, Mark. We need to keep our defense off the field as much as possible because they're getting beat up.
Right.
And we do that with ball control and moving the ball down the field.
Right.
Because we don't have quick strike capability unless it comes off the run.
Okay. Listen, I agree with both y'all. I would like to see McCaffrey get more touches in the second half. Unfortunately, that wasn't a plan. And
hey, Mark, there's no plan when you're down by 2 touchdowns other than how do we get the hell from behind 2 touchdowns? How do we do the most efficient thing to win?
It sure as hell isn't being down by 2 touchdowns when it's first and first and 10 on your 5-yard line and you run the ball. Down 14 with 7 minutes in the second half. You remember what happened the last time we were inside the 10, inside the 5? They ran the ball on first down, and then Jimmy got a safety. The same shit. Same shit.
Denver?
Huh? Yeah, Denver. It was on third down when Jimmy took the safety, as opposed to second down when Jimmy had this safety. But in both situations, when the game was on the line, you're driving down your scores, your safeties comes with your coach calling a run.
Okay, so that's on Cal, and also
In the same way that Jimmy ain't learned shit.
That's on Jimmy too. So
you know what I was gonna say, in the same way that Jimmy ain't learned, Kyle ain't learned.
Okay.
And it ain't like they don't know each other because they've been together how long? 5 years?
I'm pretty sure Kyle knows Jimmy more than.
And why is he putting him in the same position all the time to do what he's not capable of doing?
Hey man,
at some point you got to have an answer for that.
Passes did we have last week?
Got to test record.
How many passes? 37 passes, 25.
How many halfback passes?
Oh,
I'm not sure, man.
I didn't recall that. I don't think more than 5.
What are you asking, bro?
How many halfback passes? He didn't use the half, just like he didn't use last week in Atlanta. He didn't use halfback. You have your greatest offensive output in 3 weeks ago. What do you do? What was our offense set up based on? Tight end screens, Kyle Juszczyk screens, and halfback passes. Scored our most points. Tevin Coleman came in and scored 2 touchdowns. He scored his touchdown on that halfback pass. Okay. How many halfback passes has Shanahan called in the last 2 games? 3.
Okay. I mean, hey man, we don't know his game plan. I'm pretty sure. I understand that. You know,
I got to be honest. Why do we need to know his game plan when we know what we see? We see an ineffective offense being used ineffectively, and our best foot's not going forward. That's not demeaning Cal Shanahan in any way or being a hater. I'm just telling you what my football eyes tell me is, if you got a cannon, why are you out there with a slingshot? You got to put your best foot forward. If you're getting your butt handed to you, you can either turn and run or man up and throw. And I don't mean passes. I mean your best shot. Whatever that is, whatever works for you. We had no problem going up 10.
Of course. And then our defense.
And on that, when we went up, what kind of plays did we have?
And our defense self-destructed. Period. All throughout the game.
Facts.
We played behind I won't say all throughout the game, because we brought the game within 5 points with 14 minutes and 16 seconds left in the game. We had enough time. We was only down 12 points in the late third quarter. We had a good drive. We scored a touchdown, made it within 5 points with 14 minutes and 16 seconds. We had time. What happened? Kansas City, they destroyed our defense. And you said it earlier, Uncle Keith. Our scheme, I think, was good. I just think our lanes was wrong. They played the lanes wrong. And their tackling was horrible.
Oh, yeah, I seen Hufanga on that second touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Completely blocked somebody else trying to tackle it.
No, I mean,
he cut his own teammate off. And
I'm gonna go back to Cal. I've always said in the second half, Cal need to make adjustments. Now, yes, I'm replying to what you said, Uncle Keith. Yes, we see the game. We're watching the game. However, this is just me. I trust Kyle Shanahan as far as whatever he calls that we may agree with or don't agree with. That's fine. That's the beauty of opinions. I trust Kyle based on what he sees on the defense. If it comes to a point that it doesn't work, the thing is, why doesn't it work? Does it don't work because false start, offsides? Does it come because of the offensive line doesn't give Jimmy G enough time to, sling it? Or when he does sling it, he sling it to that one read and then drop it. It's a lot of reasons. It's a lot of reasons. And matter of fact, it's on both sides. Meaning, when I mean both sides, I'm talking about Jimmy and his weapons.
Yeah.
However, there's also times that Jimmy makes mistakes and his wide receivers bailing them out and vice versa. So my thing is this: the offense as a whole, they got to look at themselves in the mirror and correct things individually. In my humble opinion, they got to get together. Period. Somebody before even get to the point that no, I don't. No, I don't want to say that. I would say that somebody on the offense and what's his face? I forgot his name, man. He mentioned it earlier that somebody on the offense.
About Staley.
Yeah, Joe Staley had mentioned, and I love that article, man. Yo, he said it best when he played in 2012 and 2019. There was a leader on the offense and there was a leader on the defense that held everybody accountable in the locker room, and that's what we need. And I don't know if y'all seen the presser regarding Kyle. Kyle said in the presser regarding the penalties, he said some of it, and I'm paraphrasing, some of it, he can deal with. But the two things that he doesn't like is the false starts. He said the false starts, and what was the other one he had said?
Inevitable.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He said the false starts, and he said man, why I'm drawing a blank? False starts and offsides. Because he was talking about the offense and he was talking about the defense being offsides.
He lining up in the neutral zone is ridiculous.
Yeah, but that was one play. So what is that?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Prez, it was back to back, bro. What game? It was
I'm going to say that's 1 week. We don't have a whole bunch of offside.
I'm gonna go by what you just said. You said one play, so that's why I was going to correct you on that. It was back.
No, yeah, I meant 1 week. It happened 1 week, and it happened to Bosa.
No, but it happened though. We don't expect that from Bosa.
No. What I'm saying is Shanahan ain't talking. He ain't talking about his players always downfield. Us having linemen downfield because the plays take too long. All the holding penalties. Like I don't want to hear Shanahan talk about defense, bro. I don't want to hear him sit up here and say offsides. Okay, Bosa had back-to-back 1 week. What is that?
That's holding. When you say holding, what are you talking about?
Holding, bro. Do you know how many times we started 1st and 20 in this second half? Last
but holding. No, but I'm saying
holding.
Okay.
Our linemen getting smacked around, bro. Our linemen getting smacked around. McGlinchey has a hold almost every game, bro.
I agree. And you know what? One of those holds, the defense had his hand on his throat. So I give him that. But the other one that you mentioned, exactly. He was holding. Yes, I agree. Yo.
No, I wouldn't say it to you. I'm saying to Shanahan saying some shit because I saw that he said some shit about offside. Just like, bro, Bosa got offside twice. That happened 1 week. Like when he says it as if it happens all the time, like week after week. Like the penalties on the offense happen week after week. Offsides on the defense is not something that he deals with all the time. It was an inopportune moment. It was an absolute inopportune moment for sure.
Yeah, but you know what I think also? I think he's also talking about Charles Omenu. With Charles Omenu, he was offsides as well. So I understand. Like, I do get it. I really do. Because they played the game again last night, and I watched it, and I was just like, yo, on both sides of the ball, but in particular, the defense. Yo.
Let me share this with you.
What's up?
I stopped listening to coach pressers a long time ago for two reasons.
Shanahan full of shit, bro.
Well, okay, with that not being said, either you puff pass or you let me say this. I do not having him tell me about his team can at best be considered self-serving. How many times did he say in any presser, I own the way this team played this week?
I what?
I own how my team played this week.
What do you mean I own?
In other words, I feel responsible for it. We're talking about leadership from outside, from other players, retired players and Hall of Famers saying this team needs an identity or it needs leadership in place. Well, the person that's in charge, the on the field general, is Shanahan. Mm-hmm. And if you got people like Jimmy was quoted as having said, but it came from Green Bay's quarterback.
Right.
People need to be held right. People need to be held accountable. If they're not making plays, they should get less out. It's nuts. The reality is, for me personally, I saw what I saw. Don't tell me what I should have seen. I saw what I saw. I saw defense over pursuing. I saw offense underutilized, not utilizing its best assets. And in midst of all that, stupid holding calls, drop passes, and we talked about it earlier this week, Mark. We talked about the trust factor. The team trusting itself to execute plays and to do things, or guys not willing to lay themselves on the line because they don't think a play is going to work. That comes from leadership from the top. And I just don't see enough from Shanahan, because when is the last time he did something unexpected in the second half of a game?
Oh, yeah. When we put up 37 points and used the halfback pass and
One
used
time, 7 games.
And when Jimmy came in, when Jimmy came in that Seattle game,
Mm-hmm. He was still playing Trey's offense.
You think so?
Here's, bro. Jimmy is a huge problem in this offense. I fully understand that. He is a huge problem for Shanahan. But here, you're like, not using Christian McCaffrey in the second half is another example. What have we always said? What have we said for 2 years? Kyle Juszczyk's been underutilized. George Kittle's been underutilized. Ayuk is being wasted. And so then Shanahan comes in and you get Christian McCaffrey. Like, when is the excuses for Kyle Shanahan stop?
I mean, not using McCaffrey in the second half was coaching malpractice.
Underutilization. His offense underutilizes all of his weapons.
Juszczyk 4 for 4, no more attempts. McCaffrey, almost 80-plus yards on limited play, 8.2 yards per touch. And you stop him? And your offense is stagnant?
It's real simple. If Jimmy is a one-read quarterback and that's all that he is, design your play calls to use all of your players in the number one spot when it's their go.
Yep.
But when we watch the same offense over and over again, the same plays over and over again, as much as we watch them, I don't want to hear about Shanahan, his system and everything. It's not working. It's not working.
It's not working because in his play design or the play?
Yes, because his play design. At this point, all these years.
But go ahead. I'll give you one more point on that.
All these years, you at this time have the same players. We're talking about the same players. So if your offense is continually underperforming and you're the schemer of the play calls, that means you're not making the proper adjustments.
Who's underperforming? Who is
Shanahan. If your offense it looks like ours. So if his product that goes out there and executes or does not execute the plays that he calls over and over at this point, season for season, if those aren't working and you continually do it, that's on the coach. Period.
Are you talking about?
Because you're not making other plays. You're not elaborating on your offense. You're not making adjustments. You're not putting different receivers in different positioning throughout the plays.
Hey, Perez, hold on a second. How many read quarterback? How many reads is Jimmy? Is he a 1 read quarterback, a 2 read quarterback, a 3 read quarterback?
On his part.
He's a 1 read quarterback, right?
Exactly.
So if you can't change the number of reads he does, like Perez is saying, put different receivers or whoever you want to be a playmaker in that position to do what they do best. Okay? Don't ask TDP to run a hook and Jimmy not be able to reach him with the proper depth.
It's simple. If Jeff Wilson's wide open and you miss him, here's on the interception. On the interception, please somebody tell me why Christian McCaffrey's not in there. Why would you put Jeff Wilson? It's still on Jimmy. Horrible throw. Jimmy fucked it up. That's not what I'm saying. But here is what I'm saying. You don't play Christian McCaffrey that play. Do you think your defense lines up the same way against you if Christian McCaffrey's out there that they do when Jeff Wilson's there? When you got 6 or 7 yards to go? Absolutely not. Non-utilization of your best players. He will lose his way before he adjusts and wins with uncomfortability. That is where we're at. Oh, 1,000%. Shanahan's my man. My handle's after it, bruh. I got his hat. Like, I love Shanahan to death. I don't want no other coach, but I'm not hearing all this. This is when he came out today and said what he said and made those excuses that Shanahan made. Nah, bro. Nah, we ain't going here. I'm not backing that. I'm not letting that slide, bro, because he's folding right now. That's what Shanahan's doing.
In the best case scenario, in order to execute Shanahan's scheme plays, everybody has to be perfectly in place. That's asking too much of an offense. It's asking too much of a defense. You have to make allowances for who you have on the field.
Every one of those players,
everybody can execute the same way. And I think half the guys in defense are in the wrong position.
I've been saying it for 2.5 weeks.
I agree. Certain plays, I agree.
And it comes and who leads the team? The coaches.
Are they not practicing? These cats ain't practicing for real?
Who would say that as a coach?
Are we kidding right now?
No. When you text that, I was like, yo, I think you took that out of context.
Nah, that means they ain't going hard. They ain't practicing like they would be. He's not saying that those players aren't on the field. He's saying it is, and we're not really having the same practice.
What plays was he talking about, bro? That you heard? Huh?
Well, do you have the direct quote?
Yeah.
No. Just read it. There were no specifics because he didn't mention which.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was saying overall the team was too injured for them to really have effective practices.
Read it verbatim.
But he's talking about the injured players.
Of course.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, but what is your?
They're not playing, but those injured players aren't getting in the game. So therefore, he is. So yes, we can take this as yes. We all took it as he's just saying they're not practicing like that. But then it's like okay, but those injured players aren't not practicing through the week and then coming in the games. So therefore, he is saying they are not having practices because those injured players aren't on the field. They're not. They wouldn't be playing anyways. So it's like, nah, man, they're not having the same intensity level of practice.
He's answering the reporter's question.
So,
but I'm trying to.
His answer is his answer.
But
hold on, read the actual quote, please.
Yeah,
let's let the man speak for himself. And the reason I'm saying that, Marcus, is we can surmise what we think he means, but let's just see what he said.
I understand. But the thing about reading what somebody said is it's a context behind reading what person says.
We're all capable of understanding context.
I echoed what Jay Lee said earlier this week, that errors can only be corrected on the practice field. Said 49ers haven't had a full practice in a number of weeks due to injury.
Who said that?
Shanahan.
Okay.
Now, what context could you possibly take that in?
But what
when we talking about all the penalties, when we're talking about everything looking off motion and unorthodox and that's not being prepared, when you're talking about that, because they're not having real practices.
You play like you practice.
They're not. Yeah, no. And he's coming out.
So that's Kyle's fault. I'm trying.
I'm saying no. I'm saying Kyle coming out and saying that's a reason of why we're where we're at offensively is absurd, bro. You are the head coach.
So why don't you practice the players that are going to play and practice them hard? That's my logical question. Somebody answer that question? Anybody?
That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm
asking.
asking.
If they're not going to play, why are we practicing with people that can't play or not practicing with people that can't play? Who are you putting in to execute?
So are y'all saying that he said that they did not practice or their practice was
not a full practice? What does that mean?
Okay, I understand that. I mean, you can have a limited practice, but at least you did practice.
And then it would make more. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure out.
We don't play limited games. You practice like you play. And if you're not having a full corrective practice where you correct your mistakes, is what he's saying. We haven't been able to do that. Then that's not a viable excuse.
Exactly.
But what you should be having is you got to practice with who's going to be playing and have a full practice, because that's the product you're going to put on the field. Now, if you put a person that's been sitting on his butt all week into a game expecting to perform in your perfect system, he's going to fail.
Okay, so my question is, y'all don't want that? Y'all don't want that excuse, or y'all don't like that excuse?
That can be the reality. That can be the absolute reality of the situation, which is what it is. It's fully understandable. It's not okay for your coach to come out here and say that shit. We in year 5. I don't want to hear that from Shanahan.
Okay, even if it's, let's just say, even if it is the truth.
100%. It probably. I'm saying that it is the truth. I'm not saying he's making it up. I'm saying, why are you at the level of trying to defend yourself with that type of answer as the head coach?
And the same head coach that won't tell you who's going to play next week.
He's folding.
You withhold that, but tell us we're not practicing full. We're not practicing hard because everybody's hurt.
It's like, bro, your team looks unprepared week after week. It's like y'all aren't executing. It looks like you can't utilize your best players on both sides of the field. Obviously, we know it's because
Look what Ted said, man. That's cold. Unfortunately, he doesn't know the playbook enough to know where everyone should be and is after his first read.
Hey, come on in, cuz. Come on in. Send him the link.
Yeah. Now, Prez, didn't you say it was Shanahan's decision not to give Jimmy a playbook?
Yeah. Okay.
Say it again. Say it again.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I'm not saying he's not correct in what he's saying. I'm not saying Shanahan's not correct in what he's saying. I understand not giving him a playbook.
Okay, so what? I didn't understand why you said that when you mentioned that in group text. Like, okay, what does that mean? When what was your point of saying that Cal didn't give him the playbook? There's reasons why he didn't play. He was on his way out of here. But that was the point. I'm glad you brought that up, Uncle Keith. Why did you bring that up? I didn't understand that.
I think Kevin's answer was why he brought that up.
In the national media, when his team is underperforming week after week, and he's giving that as an excuse. What
excuse did he give for you to make that statement? I didn't understand. Help me understand what you're talking about, bro. I don't understand.
He's using these things, and he was explaining why he feels like the team is underperforming. He was explaining. These are his answers. These are his responses to basically why the offense looks unperforming or whatever it was doing.
But what I got to do with Jimmy though?
Because he said that one of the biggest reasons that the offense is going through the challenges is because a game and a half into the season they had to switch from Jimmy to Trey.
I'm
looking at what you had sent us. Matter of fact.
So basically, Kyle is saying that Jimmy doesn't know the playbook all the way through.
I'm saying he's going on here.
That's not what I interpret.
He's giving excuses.
That's not what I interpret. He was asked a question.
We see it.
I know.
I literally
he was asked a question why the 49ers offense isn't executing and making so many mistakes.
Right.
And then this is Akash's opinion. He said Kyle Shanahan might have admitted why the new offense coaching staff changing plan from Lance to Garoppolo. So the scheme, the system that they had for
he's the one that didn't give him the playbook. Shanahan, the players can come up here and say,
"Stop right there, Fred."
Bro, like you.
Yeah, bro.
No, it's all good, bro. What were you saying?
That's my point. You're saying because he didn't get a playbook, bro. He was on his way out of here,
and we all know that. But he's still here now, and we've got 5.5 games since then, and we still can't figure it out.
Giving these,
Prez, I couldn't hear Uncle Keith. Say it, Uncle Keith.
So we knew that. Now we got 5 games since then, and you tell me we haven't been able to figure it out.
But
there's no excuse. 5 games into the season.
But 7 games into it. Well, 5 games into it.
I didn't take that comment based on that. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, where are you going?
Didn't take what comment?
I don't understand the comment based on when you say Kyle didn't give him the playbook.
Well, he used it as an excuse that the offensive coach staff changed the plan from Lance to Garoppolo, which means they changed the offensive plans.
Right. Okay.
And if you've done that, you haven't figured it out in 5 weeks?
No. Yeah.
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Jimmy?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now I didn't understand why y'all when Prez was saying. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I just
saying what you were saying.
People
Now,
are bro.
Due to injuries.
What's happening, family? Y'all good? Y'all good?
Bro.
All is well. Bro. All is well.
I'm good, y'all. I'm good. I'm kind of looking at the screen and seeing y'all got this heated conversation about Kyle.
We just want to throw some wood on the fire now.
Listen, my thing, no heat here, bro. I'm just trying to understand when our brother Prez was mentioning that he didn't give him the playbook.
Yeah, bro, but I'm saying I was explaining it and you didn't let me finish explaining it. That's why I'm saying now we got to it, but that's what that's what I was getting at. You asked me why I'm saying against what Kyle Shanahan, and I literally said he came out today. When he came out today and gave these answers to why this team is where it's at, it's unacceptable. This is unacceptable because at the end of the day, he's the person that decided not to give Jimmy the playbook. No, name a quarterback on another team that don't get a playbook.
Don't happen.
He's still on your books. He's still on your books. He's not a free agent. He's still on your books. You didn't release him. You chose to keep him.
And if you don't think people dissect game plays and game plans after every game, your book is about as good as what?
Shanahan ain't coming out here talking about he's unprepared because of the game staff and the plan and everything when he's the sole reason Jimmy didn't have the book.
And he also, the counterpoint is that was 1.5 games into the season when you had to change everything, okay? You've had 5.5 more games to do what? Figure it out. Preseason ain't that long. Training camp ain't that long. So we should have it figured out by now, wouldn't you think?
And then he's making the excuse to go back to where we was at. A lot of practice time due to injuries to correct issues. So what we was talking about before we switched to the coaching staff point, or the second one that I made, he's the reason they ain't got practice time. If you ain't having full practices, or you're cutting it short, or you ain't running this, or you ain't, these are things he controls.
Okay. So, all right.
He controls.
Woo.
Okay. So
I got a bucket of water.
Well, what are we saying? So are we saying that due to the limited practice,
his team's unprepared?
Yes.
I don't want to hear his excuses about why his team's unprepared.
Mark, let me ask you a question. Seriously, I'll do candid and humbly as possible. I'm gonna ask you this question.
What's up, bro?
Do we have enough talent on this team?
These are the same team. Everything that I hear about Jimmy is always the same situation.
Is that Mark answer, please?
Matter of fact, can you say it again, though?
Do we have enough talent and enough depth on this team to execute a winning offense and defense?
On offense and defense?
Yes.
Yes.
So what excuse do we have?
None.
Okay, so then why are we listening to any?
Say it again?
And why are we listening to him?
Because he had to answer a question.
I don't care what he had to answer. That's why I don't listen to him. Because when I see on the field and you tell me you haven't been having full practices, that's coaching malpractice. Even if it's the truth, you don't tell the teams you're going up against that you're not having full practices. I've never heard a professional coach say, I put a team on the field that has not fully practiced in several weeks. That's coaching malpractice and ought to be slapped upside the head for saying so. If I went into a meeting to train people and said, I only prepared for 10 minutes last night, but I'm going to give you the best I got and hope it represents us well, then I have failed in my duties. It's dereliction of duty. So
are y'all saying that he shouldn't have gave out that information? That's what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
No doubt.
Listen.
Well, and I'm saying if that's what he's doing,
it's wrong.
Change it.
Okay.
If you still ain't having full practices and your team is doing what it's doing to beat themselves every single week, how do you have the audacity to get up there and sit here and say, because we ain't running full practices, or the quarterback I chose not to give the playbook ain't got it down right? Whatever he's alluding to. Like, you didn't give him the playbook.
I don't want to cut you off. I apologize.
You good.
So my thing is this: being that these practices are limited, that still doesn't give the player the excuse not to execute the playbook, the play.
If they're not playing full and they're not going through the full progressions, and you're asking them to play full when they're against a live defense, they are not prepared. And who is the person who's supposed to evaluate the talent and make sure the team is prepared? That is the coach. And if you can't practice full what you're putting out there in practice, don't put them out there. Put who you're going to play with and get them to execute a full practice. We'll get a better product out of it.
Those answers are him saying my team's not prepared week to week.
It's inexcusable.
My team's not prepared week to week. And you're the head coach.
I feel you, bro. You know what I think? I just think they know something that we don't know.
Well, I know what I see. You know what you see. You see an unprepared team that's not disciplined on defense, that's not executing on offense, and a quarterback who seemingly doesn't know the playbook.
And do we want to talk about the special teams? We spent all these draft picks.
You said don't know the playbook?
Well, the coach said it. Change the offensive scheme with 1.5 games into the season. And you can assume that there's an issue with him executing the playbook.
What's crazy about that?
That doesn't mean that doesn't. Pardon me, Prez. That doesn't mean that you don't know the playbook, Uncle Keith.
What does it mean?
You just got to execute the plays. That's it. That doesn't.
So if your playbook calls for 4 progressions and you're good for 1, what good is that playbook?
Uncle Keith, that does not mean you don't know the playbook.
Well, okay, let's say it means this. Your playbook is shit because you only have 1 progression on it, because that's what your quarterback can execute. Is that fair? Is that fair? The best plan that can't be executed by the people you have to execute it is useless.
Bro, here, I want to hear the irony of this conversation is that these are the same things that Jimmy's people would say, Jimmy's believers would say, and people say, nah, we ain't hearing that. Now that it's flipped and Shanahan's pulling a Jimmy.
What's flipped?
Now we flipped the situation.
Oh, what is the example of flip? What are you talking about? What's flip?
Because the playbook ain't very different. Everybody told me everywhere. This is the 49. Anybody talking about Jimmy said that when he got
not on this panel, but I said, bro, listen to my words. When you say that, I didn't say that.
I'm not even got to finish my statement, bro.
I know, but what I'm Prez. Listen to what I'm saying, bro. I never say y'all say something, so you never have to say I didn't say that. Okay, I'm just saying. I was just saying that nobody on this panel said that. I didn't say you said that, bro. Go ahead.
Right. But I'm saying if I was still saying my statement and I didn't say that, I didn't get to finish my statement.
I know, but you said I didn't say that. I didn't say you did.
Well, you guys both making points.
That's all I'm saying. Like when you say that I didn't say that, you're implying that I put those words in your mouth and I didn't.
I said that to I would. Yeah, I feel you. It wasn't to you. I was just saying, period, for the statement. I was saying to all of y'all. I'm not saying y'all said that on this podcast because I said everybody. I'm saying everyone, period, that goes against Jimmy would sit here and say when he first got here that he ain't got the excuse that he don't know the playbook. That's what everyone said about Jimmy. That when he gets here, when people would say, "Oh, he ain't even the first game." When he looked bad, those first couple of games or whatever it was, the Denver game, and Jimmy sit there and came out and said, "Man, I'm still getting accustomed to the playbook." Everybody sit there and said, "It's the same playbook. It's barely a different offense, same players, everything like that." You ain't got no excuse, Jimmy. Now people trying to tell me, Kyle, oh. Yeah, I guess you didn't have the playbook, so I guess Kyle's trying to tell us because our quarterback changes and our offensive changes and everything, we just ain't got it down. That's why we're struggling. And now I'm saying, nah, that's some bullshit. And 49er fans are saying, it's true because he didn't have the. They're defending Kyle with the same thing they criticized Jimmy with.
Interesting point.
What you're saying to me, bro, I have no clue about. So what you're saying, that's new news to me, bro. So what you're saying, I have no clue about that. I'm learning what you're saying.
And if what he's saying is true, how does that affect you?
That Jimmy don't know the playbook?
Take what he says as gospel. How does that make you feel?
That Jimmy don't know the playbook?
No, what he's saying is they used the same criticism they used against Jimmy. They're now trying to use for Kyle.
Exactly.
I don't know how to take it because
well, suppose it's true.
Uncle Keith, let me answer you, bro. Let me answer.
Yeah.
You. I don't know how to take it because I don't think like that. So well, I don't know.
Then say I agree.
I don't think like that.
I'm making a statement in general. This isn't directed to y'all.
That's why I said to you, what you're saying, bro, is new to me. That's all. Like I never knew about what you're saying. That's why I was like, okay, what you're saying. That I'm like, okay, we don't talk like that on this panel, and if we did, I would know. But my thing is this: that's all. Like what you're saying, bro. I'm clear this. But Ben Uncle Keith was saying, how does that make me feel? I don't know because I don't think like that. I don't talk like that. Period. So that's what I'm saying. It's like it was outside stuff bringing to our podcast. I don't know nothing about that, bro.
So what you're saying is you don't know anything about how they used to criticize Jimmy versus how they criticize in Shanahan. Using
as far as the playbook, that Prince is talking about.
Yes,
no, okay. I have no idea what he's talking about.
All right, so
one thing about me, if I don't know what you're talking about, I'm going to question you and I'm going to ask you, what are you talking about? Because I like to learn. My thing is this: if you're talking about some outside stuff that you read or listened from another podcast that we don't talk about on this podcast, I have no idea.
I said the irony of this conversation or this topic, not for this show, but period, because this is a 49er topic that everyone talks about. I said the irony of it is this is the same thing that they said about Jimmy. That's all. Yeah.
I have no idea. Because when you said the Denver game, I'm trying to put the pieces together. Like, what is he talking about?
He's using a generality, and my point is, assuming that it is correct.
Okay.
If you're being hypocritical. Do you think that's right? And you said you don't know what we're talking about, so I'm gonna go with that.
I don't.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I would just ask you the same thing. If I was critical of you, and then he did the same thing, and I wasn't critical of him, how would you feel about that? You think it was unfair, right?
Right.
Well, that's all I'm asking.
Right. But my thing, but I won't say, but along with that, being that he's talking about the playbook. I believe that, and we had this talk before, Uncle Keith, on I think this past Sunday. I believe Kyle designs the plays for Jimmy to amplify. He got to execute the plays. At times he does, and at times he doesn't, and it's clear. Period. Yes, we know he's strong in the middle. Yes. Okay. Some be high, some be low, and some be right on point. However, there's times the offensive line don't give him enough. I watched the game. I watched the game. So my thing is this: it's like, listen, I pay attention to what's going on.
So do I.
Of course, we don't know why Kyle don't make adjustments. However, I'm pretty sure that he doesn't do things for us to lose. Period. We may not like it, we may not agree with it. I would take that. I always told you guys, I respect your opinion. However, I don't know why Kyle does what he do, but for damn sure,
So if you don't know why you defend it?
Huh?
If you don't know why defend it? The end result is a loss.
Okay.
Fair enough.
But there's reasons why it's a loss, though. We can't put that on all Kyle Shanahan. That's all I'm saying. Period.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be real frank with you.
Yeah, no doubt.
My coach has got to be able to evaluate his talent. My coach has got to be able to put his quarterback in the best winning position. And my coach, like the players, like the locker room, have got to hold people accountable. And if you're dropping passes, I don't care if you're Debo or Nemo the whale, you come out. Somebody's gonna be hungry for the ball. If you're not hitting the hole, if McGlinchey is going to keep getting ate up, put somebody else in. I don't care who it is, somebody that wants it. But this nonsense of a play and a plan is all we can do is not football. You have to see and evaluate.
Kev said he's a 9-year vet and been in the system since 2017, fam. Come on now. There's a difference between an excuse and an explanation. These have all been excuses.
Thank you. I can't argue with that, Kel. That's what we're saying.
You're on point with that.
Yep. Time and a place.
Okay. So with that said, I mean, listen, going forward, yo, overall, on all three phases, the offense, the defense, the special teams, yo, they got to execute their best game on Sunday.
Well, going forward, I'm going in the past, the offense, defense, and special teams been playing like crap at the most inopportune times.
Mm-hmm. And people are, well, I apologize, bro. I want to get you in there, man. What you think regarding overall, man, as far as I don't know if you've seen the pressure by
no, I didn't see it. But I know Fred, boy, you was hot. We was in that text chain, boy, I was falling out laughing, man. I had people on the job, they was like trying to figure out why I was laughing like that. I'm like, man, I'm on the text chain with my people, man. We talking football. They was getting in them, dog. But no, but look, this how I look at it.
Jez, what up, bro? My bad for you, word.
What's up with you, yo?
On some level, I think Kyle, trying to play politics, trying to downplay stuff. But the reality is he under the gun. The fire being brought to him, especially now that y'all done made the trade for CMC. There's no more excuses for the offense not producing. We said it last night on the show. Jimmy, you're a 9-year veteran, just like Kev just said. You're a 9-year veteran. There's certain things you can't do. You can't take sacks at the wrong time. You can't take safeties. You can't throw the ball up and just figure somebody gonna make a play and then they get picked. So there's certain things that you just can't do. Now, I guess, and I'm gonna have to go. I probably have to watch the presser tomorrow or whatever, but and see what Kyle said about what y'all been talking about. And now he's saying it's the offensive staff. I'm gonna say this: they never had the intention to give Jimmy a playbook because he was not supposed to be there. We talked about it last night on the show. Jimmy wasn't supposed to be there at all. It was supposed to be Trey's offense. It was supposed to be everything was designed for the benefit Trey. Kyle Shanahan, back in the training camp and all of this, was always under the impression and the assumption that it was going to be Trey. He couldn't foresee the boy getting hurt. Now, would it have been smart for him to give Jimmy a playbook? Yeah, but they always was wanting to trade him. Kyle don't want, truth be told, he really don't want him on there now, but he got the role with what he got because Trey ain't there. He don't want Jimmy there because he know Jimmy can't execute the offense the way he wanted to be executed.
Facts.
But you got to live with it now because it is what it is. The boy got hurt. So now you making excuses, I guess, from what he says in a press conference that, it's the offensive staff and we did this and we did that.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, us as fans is like, it shouldn't even be that. So, I don't know, man. Look.
I re-say the last couple of lines because you went out real quick, so we didn't hear the last part of what you said.
Okay, so no, what I was saying was, I guess Kyle is trying to say it's the offensive, staff adjusting to Trey not being in there, and we designed the offense around him and, this and that or whatever. But on some level, that's not legit because Jimmy, I don't know, I guess before you decided to make Trey the starter, you was going to get rid of Jimmy, you could easily go back and put an offense in for Jimmy to play to his strengths. So I just think that, and I guess y'all saying that they not running full practices and they not prepared. Well, we obviously see they ain't prepared because y'all keep making the same boneheaded penalties, boneheaded mistakes. Same thing with the special teams. Come on, man. You paid Oren Burks this money. You paid the dude from Indianapolis this money. And y'all can't cover the coverage units on a kickoff? Y'all giving up 40, 50 yard returns like every other game out there.
And so, who's accountable for that?
Because
it's on Kyle.
And our coach came out today and said, we ain't been doing the shit that we're supposed to do to be prepared.
Well, then that's on Kyle. Like I said, I ain't watching no lick of the press conference, so I don't know what he said. But I know common sense says if y'all not doing all of that, then it's the buck always start with the head coach of the team.
Come on, man.
You know what? When I heard the presser, I didn't get that vibe. But again, listen.
I had to watch it for myself to see.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't listen to y'all. And I always say I respect your opinion. But when I heard the presser, I didn't get that vibe, yo. You follow what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't mad or furious, you know what I mean? To the point like, yo, why did he say? Like, you got to answer the question. Yes, we don't agree that he said what he said, when he said it, how he said it. I don't know. I didn't take it like that.
How I took it is like the easiest way for me to say is it'd be like if you had a quota to hit, right? If you had an advertisement quota you had to hit for whatever you wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
And then you came in and said, I only did 75% of what I was supposed to do to get to where I'm supposed to be. Could you tell your boss that's the reason?
Nope.
So why are we letting Kyle Shanahan say that to John Lynch?
How do you think John Lynch took that?
I don't know. Their relationship is good, so I don't know, man. And we don't know how they think. I don't know. I really don't know. That's what I was saying.
For a fact, I know that not full practice. I know what that means. Nobody has to interpret that for me. Nobody. If you're putting a squad out there that's not fully prepared because they can't practice fully, then nobody has to explain that to me. I don't care what you think it meant. I know what you said. He said what he said. And if he meant otherwise, then he needs to give us an explanation. And I agree with you, Mark. He should be given the opportunity. But right now, we don't have that opportunity. I'm going with what I saw and what I see week in and week out. I see boneheaded plays, like P. Warrior said, over and over again. I see poor execution over and over again. And no matter what it is you do in your life, Jizzle, when you do your job, if you don't do it the way you've been prepared to do it, you're going to do it the way you're unprepared to do it. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to leave the back gate open. You're going to do things that are not within the confines of your training. And it's going to show in the way you execute. Execution is not just about knowledge, because half of what football is muscle memory and repetition. And not having full practicing, what kind of repetitions could you possibly get in?
I think this is the equivalent of somebody basically working at a place for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they go on vacation and they get replaced during that time they're on vacation. And they come back and they're fucking up shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then the boss is saying, well, you know, he's been out a little bit while, and you know, but you've been working there for years, though. Keep in mind, right? In regards to Jimmy, it's not like you can say, well, he didn't have a playbook. You're running the same stuff that you've been running for the last 3 years. There's no way you can use that as an excuse for why this is not working. It does go back to coaching. It's just because, I mean, it's not like this guy hasn't been in your system for years. It's either you got to say it's coaching or that he just sucks that bad. I mean, it's probably a combination of both. Yeah, but, you know, the truth always lies somewhere in the middle, basically.
Here's the best evidence we'll give to you guys. Which player had the least amount of experience last Sunday's game in the 49ers system? Right?
Was the best
the most effective player on that field for the 49ers this Sunday. McCaffrey. 8.2 yards per play. Hold on, I heard the mic drop.
Yeah, because here's the real truth with Kyle Shanahan. We had 10-0 lead. Everything was perfect.
Yeah.
That offense came down. He gave up them points. It was 10-7, and he folded. He went right back to the same shit he always does. He starts running the ball. You start not doing it. You got to the point. You know what I'm saying? You got to the point. It's just crazy, bro. It's just crazy. It's obvious. It's obvious. Like Jimmy G, his record, Jimmy G can only be so bad, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy, there is a point that Jimmy is better than most quarterbacks. Period.
Superior talent around him in game management.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you put Jimmy Garoppolo at his lowest floor, in his lowest ceiling, right? Shanahan in 5 years, the genius that he is, he can't turn him into a Super Bowl winner, bro.
Here's the thing that we're not really talking about, and this is why I always predicted that we were going to trade for CMC, is because all the times that Jimmy G's had success, it's been behind a dominant run game. Forget about the defense and everything else. He needs to hide behind a dominant run game to minimize the mistakes that he can make, to minimize the throws he has to make, to just let him play and get his quick release. His quick release and everything is very conducive to having a dominant run game. And up to this point, we ain't had that dominant. You could see it. Like, nobody has to tell you. You don't have to look at his stats. The run game ain't been hitting like that. And that's the biggest difference from previous
But
years.
for one quarter this Sunday, the run game was on point. That's this guy had 4 touches in a row. It opened up Jimmy's arm. He was comfortable in the pocket because he had a fallback. But as soon as they took that weapon from him, they went to crap.
Man,
That was the first quarter. That was the first quarter because I was at the game. That's when it all looked like it was going, you know?
Yeah, how did you were there? How did it go to you? Like now,
it was going great. The first quarter was going great. Basically, we're mixing in CMC. And CMC got more work in the first quarter than I thought he was going to get. We had a 10-point lead. And so everybody's feeling good. We're slapping high fives and thinking, hey, okay, this is more like it. But I always know that Mahomes, no lead is safe with him. We had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl and we lost it. So and look at what happened to the Bills in the AFC Championship. You got to keep scoring points on him, and I just don't have any faith in Jimmy G to do it. And hey, the rest is history.
Shoot out Patrick Mahomes. Jimmy is never going to shoot out Patrick Mahomes. Period.
Yeah, but our offense can outshoot him by like our run game. Once we get it established, we keep the ball out of his hands, and we can that way beat him.
Absolutely, we absolutely can beat him. Yeah, but Jimmy ain't gonna beat him in a shootout for sure.
So,
but this week we needed him to kind of do that because CMC wasn't even all the way in.
Yeah, but when he was in, he was spectacular.
Hey, and they had 2 third-down drops, bro, in that first half, bro. Like,
hey, Prez, what I say? Prez, what I say about that yesterday?
Yeah, no fact. No. Yeah, you was on the. Yeah, I watched the show.
I mean, P. Ward, my bad, bro. I'm calling your name. I meant to say P. Ward. P. Ward, what I say about that last night?
Yeah, it cost him, man.
Cost us 7 points.
It cost some points.
We had to settle for 3. Now that stuff like that, it happens. It happens.
But it can't happen. We ain't good enough for it to happen. If Jimmy don't get no excuse for missing the wide open throw, the layups, then I'm not seeing these wide receivers wide open, these grown niggas in big time situations dropping these balls, bro. No. They need to catch the ball. And with the same, huh?
You said wide open? That's what you said. You said wide open? It wasn't wide open.
Wide open meaning that the defender is not contesting them. Those are on the money.
They were contested.
Kittle's in 2 different situations, Mark. He's saying if he can't blame Jimmy for receivers dropping the ball, but he can't blame him for missing people that are completely open. We're talking about 2 separate plays.
Yeah.
I was only going with what the brother said. He said open. That's what threw me off.
Well, you missed part of what he said because it cut out. I promise you he said that.
And then he just said it wasn't contested. And I'm telling you, they were contested. They were.
They should have caught the ball.
I agree with you.
It's the NFL. Most of those are going to – what I'm saying wide open is like there weren't good defensive plays. The only one that could have been a good defensive play was like that one on Kittle. Every other drop was a drop.
Prez.
Like
The two plays that you're talking about, we all agree with you, bro. Yes, they should have been called, but unfortunately they were. But I'm laughing because we agree with you, bro. Yes, they're supposed to be caught, but unfortunately they weren't. We had to settle for 3 points on both plays.
And I'm saying, again, bro, I'm not talking to y'all. My point is I'm making a generalized statement, and in my generalized statement, I'm saying with 49er fans, it's like I don't want to hear that. No, it's just a drop because people don't give Jimmy that. These dudes are top 5. These dudes are top 5 in the NFL. Again, bro, Mark, I wasn't saying it to you.
I know, but I know you know, bro. I just gotta say this. You say it in general.
Yeah.
We're your brothers on the panel, so when you talk, I'm thinking you're talking to me, us.
Right.
When you say that, I want you to understand when you're talking, bro, as a faithful huddle, you're talking to us. Yes, our viewers is watching, but bro, you're talking to the point like.
Yeah, no, I get that, but okay. I was saying in general. I said with 49er fans. It's all good, bro.
Okay, but yeah, hey, listen. In other words, on both sides of the ball, like I've always said, opportunities will waste on both sides of the damn ball. Period. What's up, Uncle Key?
You know, young man, I got a little bit older a few weeks ago, and I want to share something with you.
No doubt.
In life, I learned a couple things about communicating, and I learned it from a dog named Cooter. Cooter was an old bastard, dumb as battery acid. But one thing Cooter taught me was if I was going to smack him in the ass. And for 7 years I had him. Every time I had to discipline Cooter, I smacked him on the butt. But one day I wasn't paying attention. I took it for granted that I could smack Cooter on the butt. Except Cooter had turned around on me real quick, and I slapped him in the face. By the time Cooter finished biting me, I realized I need to look where I put my hands the rest of my life. I never smacked Cooter on the butt again. We're talking the same language, and we acting like we know what Cooter's going to do by doing something different. What I'm trying to say is we're agreeing that there changes need to be made. But one thing we can also agree on, we have enough talent to be doing better than we are.
True.
All right?
Yep.
And at the end of the day, if I'm leading troops and Cooter's by my side, I'm going to tell every one of my troops, don't hit Cooter in the face. Hit him on the ass. And Cooter's going to get us through the battlefield. But if we change up and do something and ask Cooter to do something he's not capable of, he's going to bite us. Jimmy's going to bite us every time we put him in a position to do what he's not capable of doing.
True.
But what's biting us for a team as a whole, penalties are about repetition, practice, and muscle memory. We are making stupid mistakes, not talent mistakes or lack of. Stupid. We're making mistakes because nobody's holding us accountable. And the person that's in charge is our coach. He's not my buddy. He's not my friend. And if you don't think Lynch is up there looking at that, then they're both guilty of malpractice. We have enough talent to not have this discussion tonight. There is no excuse for it.
Can I piggyback off of
something? On the goal line, not blocking a single soul on the goal line. And we see this game after game after game where he's lost in the play. You bring Trent Williams out too soon. You got a quarterback taking a 7-step drop in the end zone. And the safety's killing us because we're trying to come back, but we're in our own end zone. And how did we get so close to that end zone? Another stupid play. I heard a young man, Mark, you sent out a link there earlier where a guy says, we weren't just doing stupid plays, we were stacking them back to back. That's cool. That's discipline. That's lack of structure and a lack of accountability. My speech is over because Cooter's getting tired. And I promised Cooter in loving memory that I would never smack him again in the face, and I kept my word. I'm just saying, think of Jimmy as Cooter. Keep your hand on his ass and away from his mouth. Things will be better off. Stay in our lane. Let's do what we do best and simplify it. If all else fails, if you got thoroughbreds, I will say this way. If I got a Dodge Demon and you got a GTR, I'm not going to race you through curves, a Demon against a GTR. I'm going to do on a straightaway. That's the only way I'm going to catch you. Pure horsepower. But if I got to turn 1 inch, I'm done. That GTR is going to smoke me.
Oh, smoke you.
Let's stay in our lane, simplify things, and use our raw talent. And let's practice hard. Don't ever approach me and tell me the reason I screwed up is I didn't practice enough. The reason
I
I
heard
don't
that from other former players that they say the Niners practice too hard, and that's why we get all these extra injuries. And these are people that played for us.
I remember that.
The safety that used to play for us, he's all over Twitter.
That's the exact opposite. We're not having full practices. There's a mixture here somewhere. There's a mix-up somewhere.
I gotta.
You said it. You read it. We're not having full practices. Point blank.
They look unprepared. If you're whatever,
He that's taken out of context. What he's saying is, the collective bargaining. The last time they went up against the league, basically, they minimized practices. So what he's saying full. It's like that for everybody. He's saying that's something that they just came up with, and when they did the agreement to add the extra game on the regular season, this is something their CPA came up with.
Okay,
so he's saying like that. If he had the extra time like previous seasons, it would be different. Basically, with another excuse, but that's what he's saying.
Everybody's got the same restrictions.
Hold on. Yeah. No, that's what. Hold on. But did that just change this year? Did that just change this year?
This year, yeah, because they added the 18th game, and so the players' union got to go up against them and say, okay, if you're adding that, you got to give us a little something. So they don't get paid for practices. So they said, hey, okay, not 20 minutes on every practice.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same concept. Everybody's got the same time. He's giving excuses to why.
No, everybody. That's why I said it's an excuse. That's what I said.
Also, in his explanation, he said due to injuries. In other words, limited personnel, limited to practice. Mm-hmm. So what you're basically telling me, you couldn't play full practice because you couldn't put everybody you can put on the field in the practice. There's no interpreting that.
But I don't think it was everybody. I think it was certain players.
But if they play, they might as well be if they're going to be on the field Sunday, they ought to be in a full practice.
I understand, but that's what I was saying earlier, Uncle Keith, that you can have limited practice. It could be 2 days or 3 days. As long as you know the plays are shown to them on Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, if they're playing at home, they have limited practice. And what I was just saying earlier, whether my brothers agree or not, even when you have limited practice and you've been coached the plays that you're going to perform on Sunday, that shouldn't be a reason based on those limited practice. That should not be the reason why you make mistakes on the field and don't execute on the plays. Now,
then why is the coach giving it?
I'm sorry?
Then why is the coach giving it?
Why is coach giving
it? Why is the coach the one saying that?
Listen, yo, Uncle Keith, I'm on the East Coast with you, bro. I do not know, yo. I don't know. I really don't know.
We don't know over here either on the West Coast.
You gotta ask Cooter this.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
I don't either, but it sounds like an excuse. I've heard excuses before.
But I don't know. I'm saying, like, I don't know why those words was his excuse. I don't know, guys. I really don't know.
Help you out. I promise him to help you out.
Hey.
When I was a young kid, I stepped in some doo-doo going up in the church. I was sitting near the front of the church, and everybody kept smelling dog shit.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't close the window. Act like it was coming from outside.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense. It just stinks. You cannot tell me that if you having full practice because people are injured and you throw that out as an excuse, I'm supposed to accept that blindly. I don't need to know what you're thinking. I see in front of me you're making excuses. I also see the results on the field. Stupid plays.
Facts. Well, and so just to build off that, so then it's at that point, it's like, okay, bro. So if you're not practicing enough in your practices, because at this point, here's where I have the problem with that statement. When you're at this point, everybody's got the same time that Kyle Shanahan has. So then it comes down to how Kyle Shanahan then is using his time with his team. in running his team. So if you're at the point where you're telling us like, oh man, because we got a shorter time frame, we're not prepared like we're supposed to be in whatever facet, and you have a time period that you're responsible for getting your team prepared for, that you break down in the time uses, well, it's time for y'all to do more of something.
Let me ask you a question. Did he? I'm just asking because I seen the presser. Did he say that they were not prepared? Did he say that?
He didn't say it. No, he actually didn't say that.
Hold on, because this is before you got here, Jizzle. You put it on the board. We're talking about what you put up there, and we're talking about
that was from a reporter, right? But what I'm saying, no, he was saying talking about the offense changing the offense from Lance to Jimmy. But we're talking about
as prepared. He was saying as prepared. He wasn't saying not prepared. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm going by what president, and he said not prepared. So that's why I was just asking.
No. It was as prepared.
Not
as
prepared. Because that's not what I heard. But if you said that, then I got to listen to it again. Again, guys, that's what I was saying. From me, listen to his presser. I didn't get that frequency that some of y'all had got. That's what I'm saying. I got to listen to it again. You follow what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yo, I'm not getting that frequency y'all getting.
Humbly and respectfully,
yeah,
I don't give a shit what he says at this point. I'm looking at what's happening on the field. And I'm going to keep it 100 with you. You can excuse me by farting in the elevator. It still stinks. I want performance. And the coach leads. You stink, like the Italian says, the fish stinks from the head. And we got a stinking fish right now. Like, we got to stop making excuses and trying to understand what we see. Look.
Wait, hold on. So what about that D'Amico Ryan conversation I had at the end of the year? Like, you think we might be discussing that? Like,
well, let's just talk about that. Because we gave him credit 2 weeks in a row for having the swarm prior to last week. Now he went from the swarm to the worn. They worn out. They're not executing. You're not having the same, because you got to have consistency and manpower also. So there are viable reasons for some underperformance. But look, you can't tell me that guys running out of their run lanes and over pursuing and running into each other in coverage is not about discipline and coaching. Whether the defensive coordinator,
it's getting scary, to be honest. It's getting scary to me.
That's why, and being that went on the defense, that's why I was saying when Kyle said in pure word, when you listen to Kyle at the presser, he was saying it was two things that bother him the most. He was saying false start. You're supposed to know the count. False starts and offsides. It was offsides on Charles Aminu. It was offsides on the defense. This is what he said. These two things that really bother him. And I feel him on that. So, Ben, and let's go back to the defense. Like, yo, as a player, man, and Uncle Keith, you said it, bro. Okay, if some of y'all want to hold on to coaches, that's fine. I support y'all on y'all opinion. However, when it comes down to a player, you got to do your job.
But, Mark, if I'm driving the bus, I can't blame the passengers for making so much noise to tell you why I'm lost. I'm still driving the bus. This is Shanahan's team. If you're not going to hold your defensive coordinator accountable or your defensive players accountable, who are you going to hold accountable? Hey, I'm going to hold you as a fan accountable. You run that team.
There is
no that team.
Okay, so being that you said that, you're driving the bus. Hold up, press. You're driving the bus. Let's just say you're driving the school bus, and you're telling the kids to calm down, cool it down. They have the choice to listen to you or not.
And I have a choice to pull over.
Not done, Uncle Keith. So you're driving the bus. Again, those players on the field, they got to do their job. They either mess up or do their job. It's a choice. Either they get outplayed or they make dumb mistakes.
Hey,
go ahead, Press.
No, you good. I know. I agree. Let's take it from sports and just put it in corporate America. Everybody here, there's no job that you can go to and get hired on as a new manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
To take a spot and come through, and you have to do everything that you do, and you continuously fail and not hit what you're supposed to do or get to where you're supposed to be or your company expectations. What as the manager, you fire, you rehire, you fire, you train, you get people come through, but ultimately you get fired.
Right.
You can only.
Oh, you talking about the head, right?
Yeah,
we were talking about that a couple of days ago.
It's no different than what we've watched here. It's no different what we watch here. The difference is, as a company, they've invested all of their future in you by draft picks, and the quarterback that you've brought in and the trades that you've made, they're immediate draft picks. Like, so you've been heavily invested on this team. You know what I'm saying? It's like, at some point, you're the problem.
D Warrior, do you have a choice as to whether or not you're going to perform on your job?
Hell no.
Do you?
No.
Jizzle, you got a choice whether or not you perform on your job?
There's an expectation that you are.
Whether or not you perform or not on your job? I certainly don't. And I'm not going to pay somebody $2 million to have a choice. I'm going to hold them accountable. You feel what I'm saying? We get jobs. So to tell me they have a choice whether or not they're going to do their job or not, or how they're going to execute it, again, is a failure of leadership. They even think for a second they got a choice and there's no consequences. You have failed. You have failed. If my sales team doesn't perform because they don't think I'm going to hold them accountable, I have failed. I will fire myself rather than turn in inferior product and performance. I have higher standards and I care too much about what we do. I've had people hate me and work for me and go on to be extremely successful because I care. I would not let Prez come in, have a bad day, and stay. I will send him home and make him come back when he's ready to perform. I will hold him accountable.
One day, no, you do it on one day. Damn, come up and have one bad day. You can't have one bad day.
Sorry, man. Joe DiMaggio said it best. I've been playing for the Yankees for 17 years. I'm not going to go on the field and half-ass it because it may be a lifetime Yankee fan only gets to see me play once live, and he's going to get the best Joe DiMaggio he can get. The 49ers need that same kind of commitment and discipline from coaching on down. How can Shanahan stand before America and say we had limited practice due to injuries and we still put those people on the field? That's malpractice.
And the real fact about it is, in that quotation, most of those dudes ain't playing steel.
Hey, anybody got some liquor? I didn't got
it. Here's my thing with that quote and how I interpret it, and I could be wrong. My interpretation of Shanahan saying that is like, okay, bro, well, the injured guys that you're talking about that we don't have are not playing. So what does that have to do? What if that's what I'm saying? So if that's not the other possibility, that's my comparison. Then it has to be he's making an excuse. Because the only reason you would say that is because, those injured players that aren't going to play Sunday didn't practice.
That's what I said earlier.
Okay, bro. So what does that have to do with your players that are playing every week that aren't getting it done, that are under penalized, that are over penalized, aren't execution on all three facets?
Yo, I gotta watch that pressure again, man.
Yo, no, but that's why I said at the end of the day, it's an excuse. It's an excuse, and but like anybody in this room, if your seat was getting hot, you'll start making excuses too. Like it's hot. This seat's hot. You know what I mean? And he knows he's under 500.
You get up
here, and he knows like people are calling for. There's whispers now. There ain't like before he was untouchable, the genius.
For what?
You said they calling for the head. They calling for the head on a silver platter.
Telling you.
Oh, it's getting
crazy. Oh yeah. Oh no. Phil, you don't think nobody's calling for Shanahan's head right now?
You won't see it if you just watch this press.
Oh my God! It's starting to just now turn. It's starting to just now turn against the Tide.
Let me ask you a question. No, I know the fan base is.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I agree with that. As far as inside that building, now that I don't know. And
no, I don't say that. I'm talking about the fan base. But once that fireball starts to spread, it spreads.
Because that's all we're gonna hear on TV. That's just like they did Jimmy. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, and here's another thing. It'll change to that, and that's what it'll be. Every NFL show, when it brings up topics, are the 49ers going to replace? When it becomes that narrative, it's going to be another example of how manipulated the 49ers are in the media. the bad shit, I've never seen it, man, like glorified in the way that it is with the team, like it is with the 49ers. And it may be because it's my team and we've watched it in forever, but I think there is something to the narrative. It's like, bro, because we're there walking NFL headlines.
Here's a narrative that you're starting to hear. With all this talent, why are they 3-4? When they start asking that question, when they start talking about talent and record, they're talking about the coach. They're not talking about anybody else. You have all this talent. It's the same conversation we have as fans. What excuse? We have no excuse. We got McCaffrey. And this morning, if you don't think they weren't talking about how little he got used in the second half, you're crazy.
Right.
As if he was the be-all and end-all. But I'll be honest with you, what I saw had me ecstatic.
4 snaps.
I didn't to see him at all. Mark, you said the same. We didn't think he was going to really play. But he came out and balled.
He still
He came out balls, man.
I mean, he was bossed up.
He was.
It's like we were winning with him, and when we not played him, we got smashed out without him.
Ooh.
I still didn't use him.
Like I said many times, man, overall, everybody got to take a look at themselves on that damn team, man.
Well, I know one thing. I'm going to stop looking at his pressure because that's like me asking me. That's like me tasting my own food and telling you ain't nothing wrong with it. It ain't too salty. Let somebody else eat it. Let somebody else eat it.
Honestly, when I watch the presser, yo, I've learned. I'll be learning. I'll be trying to figure out, okay.
P. Warrior, what you doing, man?
But anyway,
step for him.
I mean, I didn't get that frequency that y'all got, man. You know, but I'm gonna watch it again. But I feel what y'all saying.
Hey, Mark.
What's up, bro? What up?
Don't watch it again. Just let it go. Don't watch it again. Just let it go, man.
Oh no,
you're right. I'm gonna tell you how right you are.
What up?
We all look through different lenses. All right, we do. And you're going to see what you saw. All right. And I'm telling you, and the only proof for anything that can be said at a presser goes on the field. All right. You have a lot of confidence in Shanahan. He had, Perez had a lot of confidence in Jimmy sometimes. Jill had a lot of confidence in the team as a whole. And P. Warrior has confidence in the organization. But let me tell you what I have confidence in. All of that, then none of that, and what I see. So it's about as clear as an unclear picture. It's like looking in the mirror in the morning and think you got it all, and you rub your fist like this and you feel some stubble. There's going to be some how you look at things.
I'll tell you one thing.
Everybody's right.
I've said this earlier, man. We got to execute this damn Sunday.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to ask you, P. Warrior. I don't know if I'm pretty sure you know, bro. Although I heard about this yesterday, I don't think we got a chance to talk about it yet. I think we did talk about it briefly because I know I came in on y'all show a little bit later. But Debo has an hamstring injury, and Jawan, and me, Prez, and Uncle Keith. Before you and Jizzle have popped on, I would like to know. Y'all thoughts regarding Debo maybe sitting out this Sunday and Danny Gray stepping up in his spot? Which I think, guys.
I got a 3-syllable answer to that.
I got my glasses on there.
OBJ. Let's go. Let's go all the way in. OBJ.
Hey, don't even play with me, man. I done spent the last 4 or 5 years, man, really thinking this gonna happen. He'll never come here, bro.
Hey, remember that?
He wants to be here.
I mean, Debo
he was that video. He said, "Come get me." He said it to Jimmy G. He said, "Come get me" at the end of the game after we played him.
Yeah,
just like about 2 years ago, bro.
3 years ago,
3 years ago. Yeah, I promise you. And you could read it clear. He said that. He said, "Come get me."
No, that was the year. No. I think
it's like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Look, I don't care if it was 9 years ago. Get him. I'm gonna tell you something. And when you do get him,
you already know.
When you do get him, y'all listen to an OG. Let Purdy throw the ball to him every once in a while so he can reach him. I don't care if y'all keep talking about Jimmy's limitations. What I saw that kid do the other day for a short period of time was throw the ball 30 yards in the air on a dime. I also saw him escape that weak offensive line 3 times and extend the play. Now, if you look at the game and honest with yourself, Mark, I need you here with me. You cannot possibly say that ain't a possibility. I've been saying it. I'm going to say it till I'm proven right. And when I'm wrong, I'm still going to be using my San Francisco 49ers.
Nah, they won't go to Purdy, though.
I'm not saying for the full game.
Guys, wait a minute. Hold up, guys. I'm trying to figure it out. Are you talking about Purdy? Because you talk fast, yo. I'm trying to figure. You said Purdy?
Yeah, read my lips. Purdy.
I didn't see that in the game. I told you that. I didn't see.
I'm telling you, watch the game and you see when he played in that game, he made those plays. And y'all saw who saw the game? You saw how he played. Was he perfect? No. Did he throw some high balls? Yes. But how far were those balls going in the air?
Because they was in the sidelines.
They was looking better than Jimmy G's passes. I tell you that.
I'm telling you. And when you got weapons
but I'm telling you, Kyle Shanahan won't do it. I wouldn't say I wouldn't do it. Kyle Shanahan is so conservative. Like even we thought last year.
Ain't you the same? Ain't we the same?
Last year he could have went to trade.
We said week after week that he would never get in the game. He got in the game last week. And he threw the ball, did he not? And y'all said that was crazy for saying bring him in.
I think because in that late fourth quarter, that's when Jimmy had fumbled the ball.
And what did we see?
But the game was over, though. The game was already over.
I know.
He did not throw the ball.
I'm thinking
you take your starting quarterback out of games that are already over. Like at that point, they had like an 18-point lead. It's a wrap, and it's the fourth quarter.
So let me ask you a question. If you're going to have him as a backup for Trey, when Trey does come back, and Jimmy is already 86 this game, let him play.
Yeah. But
that's why they did it. That's why they did it.
And I don't think he looked terrible.
Let him play. Get some experience.
He looked terrible.
He did not look terrible. And I'm sure Jimmy G was not thrilled to see him out there making a 25-yard in the air and stride pass connection.
Jimmy is not worried about Purdy, bro. I promise you that.
Well, back with his next team.
Nah, he's not. Now, Prez, I agree with you on that.
I agree too, bro. I totally agree.
Hey, Matthew, you got one more time tonight not to disagree with me and pick Prez's side.
Hey,
he ain't been nice about it. So you got to be on my side a little bit.
P-Ward, what you think about Danny Gray stepping in if Debo is a no-go for Sunday, bro?
Well, they can't risk Debo long term, so if he got to sit, yeah. But Danny Gray, man, you ain't. I'll put it to you like this. Well, if they ain't practicing as a team much, that means you ain't getting a lot of reps in practice, which means you ain't prepared for the game either. You saw that on the one play when they tried to throw it to him deep. You was all turned around anyway. So, I mean, come on, man. Let me just put it to you like this. I wanted to piggyback off of what Uncle Keith and Jizzle said. I'm going to tell the truth on it. They had to bring McCaffrey in, and they had to get a star running back because Jimmy ain't going to win no games without a running game. So, Jizzle, you on point. You 100 with that.
Right.
Same thing what Uncle Keith said about the being held accountable for the practicing. Now, whether it's due to injuries or not, everybody ain't injured out there. If whoever injured ain't playing, if you hurt and you know you can't practice, you ain't gonna practice no way. The rest of the team ain't hurt. So go ahead and practice and do what you got to do to get them prepared, which means you ain't prepared. So if they bringing the heat to you, it's deserving of the beat brought the heat to you. And ain't no more excuses. You brought McCaffrey in. It ain't even about the draft picks. You say you're going all in to get a Super Bowl. Well, how you gonna go all in to get a Super Bowl and you ain't prepared? You gonna get worked out there.
Bro,
you thought Kansas City gonna work you? The Rams will work you over too if you don't come prepared Sunday with McCaffrey out there.
We were 3-3. We were 3-3 with a team that had lost 3 games we should not have lost already in the division play in, and we're lucky enough to be in first place, bro.
What's up,
losing McCaffrey in the second half, and we lost this game immediately, and now we're 3-4. Like it's like he don't get no passes for that. Like he was the Shanahan. He was the reason. He was the reason we were up 10-0. McCaffrey was because he was every yard 10 yards. He's the wild card. When he's out there, your defense has to change because now everybody has to pay attention to McCaffrey, and you already got Debo and everything like that.
Wilson and McCaffrey were, but go ahead.
No, it don't need to be no more Wilson. It needs. We were in the red zone and Wilson's and Jeff Wilson's out there. What is?
Yeah.
What in the red
His
zone?
snaps are going to go down, way down now that McCaffrey's going to get more integrated into it. He's going to still get snaps, but it won't be like those kind of snaps.
Well, when Elijah gets here, those go to Elijah.
I was just talking about the Sunday game. I hear y'all.
No, that's what, no, I'm saying on this Sunday. There's no.
You were saying because of McCaffrey, and McCaffrey was doing the same. It was Jeff Wilson doing it also, but I was just throwing that in there. But go ahead, bro.
No, I'm saying in the second half he had 4 snaps, so he didn't play in the second half over Jeff Wilson. McCaffrey's the reason we got up 10-0, and McCaffrey was the reason Jimmy was in the zone.
Yeah,
you take him out in the second half, and then you see what happens. There's no excuse because you never made the adjustment. You're the offensive coordinator. He's not even. We're talking about the offensive coordinator.
To that point, how do you blame the offensive coordinator for not preparing the team or being able to do it if you're the offensive coordinator?
If you ain't playing your best players. You ain't put your quarterback that everyone knows struggles, and you can't put points in the red zone, and you ain't got not only we're talking about you're talking about like the second or third best playmaker in the game. Christian McCaffrey, like there's no situation. I don't care how many where he came through, where he got through. He played in this game. There is no excuse for him not to be on every single snap in the red zone. There is no excuse. There's no exception. It's fucked up.
You got a player that came from another team who's averaging 25 touches per game, and you used him for 10, and he averaged 8.2 yards per touch. I wish somebody would tell me it's like taking an empty gun and a full gun to a gunfight, and you pulling the empty gun.
No chance.
There was no excuse for it. And I'm not saying McCaffrey would have won us the game, but he damn sure wouldn't have lost it.
Right. We're going to use them more going forward. And I feel like another thing that we need to do, though, and one of you guys mentioned it, is involve Danny Gray in more. It doesn't matter if whatever you think about Jimmy G, you got to put deep shots on film. You know, with the way we're going to be having all these yak bros on all these underneath routes, you got to put some deep shots on film eventually. And he's the biggest deep threat that we have on the team.
Get out.
So you're going to have to utilize him now.
Yeah,
oh, shit. Hold on,
the
guys.
only way you can get big plays out of like that is if he's literally throwing within the first 7 yards of that wide receiver off the go. It's got to be you scheme it to be it's one-on-one coverage, and you got to trust that Danny Gray is going to be there and Jimmy throws it. But it can't be this play develops and that ball goes. It's just not getting there. We know it's not getting there. So the play needs to be off top immediately. Jimmy step back 1-2 and hit that shit as far as he go, because we know he only got a good 40, 50 yards on his best balls. And Danny Gray can track that down. Any other play with Danny Gray makes no sense because our quarterback can't get him the ball. I mean,
but honestly, a deep route could be a slant route. It don't have to be nothing.
No, facts.
Yeah, and Danny Gray could do the rest, you know?
Exactly. I said he should be in the slot. I said that Danny Gray should be who we play in the slot. I would bring, because I'm tired of Ray being in the field. Exactly. I'm tired of Ray being on the field. I want Malik Turner where Debo would be, because Ayuk's already the 1. Debo's the 2 in our offense. Not saying he's number 2, but he's 2 in our offense. And so Malik would come in at 2 because you keep Ayuk where he's at, and then you put Danny Gray because he's the one that can catch the ball.
Reason why they playing them, Perez, because they paid them all that money, man.
It's not an excuse anymore. You're 3 and 4. Okay,
Bro, I understand your view, but business-wise, they're paying Ray all that money, man. They're gonna use them in the slot.
And I understand that the business of the game is to win.
That's why Shanahan.
I get it. I'm just telling y'all.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
We say on one hand, we don't know what they're thinking, but on the other hand, we tell them what they're thinking. We can't have it both ways. We don't know what they're thinking because they're not executing. I just want 2 last words. Just 2 last words. Purdy, please.
I know. I'm saying, put your best players on the field in all situations and figure it out, bro. Because the point is Ray McLeod cannot run routes. Jimmy is not great deep anyways. We need somebody in there that can run routes and get open so Jimmy can hit him within 20 yards. Because like that's the reality of the situation, man. Like anything else is unacceptable. Anything else is unacceptable and is on Kyle Shanahan. Until you put your best players out there and put Jimmy in the best situations to win, and Jimmy consistently cannot get it done, then Jimmy can go with all the hate. But Jimmy is yet to be put in a situation where his best players are being utilized position-wise and schematic-wise. And we know he's not great. I'm not giving an excuse for Jimmy. I'm saying there's levels to where Jimmy's at. And another level is that his head coach has consistently put him in an offense that is dysfunctional.
Okay.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing, bro. If Jimmy G do really have mob ties, you the lawyer, bro.
No, I'm not saying Shanahan. I'm saying
just saying if he do, you there, you got the job. You got the job already. You got the job.
What I'm saying is at this point Shanahan needs to make the necessary decisions within his playmakers and his scheme to put Jimmy in a better situation. Like, yes, Jimmy's not doing, but Jimmy's not doing it in the same way.
Wait.
Oh, I'm not. See, this is it. Anytime you say something against Jimmy, anytime I say something against Jimmy, it's taken as like I'm defending Jimmy. No, I'm saying Jimmy is as wrong for what he is saying as his play, and he's responsible as you guys say it is. Everybody, like anybody that this is the conversation for somebody that defends Jimmy compared to somebody that doesn't. Not just period in any aspect of it. It's like Jimmy is who he is, and Jimmy is being exactly who he is this year. Some would say he's playing better as who he is than he's ever played before. And so if it's still not getting done and your offense still looks the same and is sputtering, where is your offensive coordinator's adjustments in this offense being held accountable? The problem is that with our team, most teams, it's not the head coach. The head coach isn't the offensive coordinator. So the point is he's the offensive coordinator first within our system. And what he's doing as the offensive coordinator with 5 years as Jimmy, he's more responsible for Jimmy's failures than this fan base wants to give him. Like, and we're still watching it now, him not play his best players in the situation schematically wise. His scheme is not working. You can draw up the best play, every single play of it, and it could work and everything. If your players are not capable of carrying it out, then at that point, it just don't work for you, bro. I could date the baddest chick in the world, bro. It could be great, have all the money, and I could be with her for as long as I wanted to, bro. But if it's hell for me, am I gonna stay? Like, come on, man. Like, where's the accountability for Shanahan? And my problem is this is the only time y'all have ever seen me really rant on Shanahan because of what he said today. This is where I'm at. Like, nah, this is bullshit. This is too much on Shanahan. Like that now he gets no more passes because he's doing exactly what Jimmy does when Jimmy goes up there and makes excuses. He's doing the same thing. That's where we at. My problem is it ain't even about the blame. It's like we all know, no matter how we view about this offense or who's it wrong, Shanahan, Jimmy, a mix of it, however it goes, everybody can agree that this shit is not working. And he, as the offensive coordinator, is responsible for his shit working or not, bro. Just like if we had a crew that we worked for and it was our job to produce numbers and they weren't, we responsible for it, bro. Ain't no difference. Ain't no difference.
I agree with what you just said. Something is not working. The penalties is not working.
That goes on.
Hold on, stop right there. Stop.
No.
What you just said was you misrepresented what you just said. You cannot say you agree with him and then give reasons for something else not going on. That is counterpoint to what he just said. That's not being fair, Mark.
No. Yo, if you allow me to fit, I'm just telling you why.
You keep going back to the same rabbit hole. It's the penalties. It's this. It's not the coach.
That's your opinion, and I respect it.
And if you respect it, why you keep going down the same rabbit hole, giving the same weak excuses Shanahan given?
Because respectfully, because it is the penalties and the turnovers.
Oh, God.
It is.
I disagree totally.
That's fine, yo. I'm cool with that. See,
And we keep hearing
that doesn't bother me. I'm just telling y'all, like, yo, that's fine. You see how I'm listening to y'all? Okay, go ahead, Press. My bad, bro.
All I'm saying is if the defense doesn't perform, is it ever going to be Bosa's fault?
No.
Never. Exactly. Never. It's not going to be Bosa's fault. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Okay. So, as the coach, Kyle Shanahan's the best.
Okay.
Everybody considers him the best, the genius, the offensive mind. He is accolade, and he's earned it. I'm not even arguing. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Y'all seen more of his career and everything.
I would say Andy Reid. Everybody considers Andy Reid.
Well, yeah, okay, my bad. See, and I'm wrong. But either way, he's up there as the greats. You know what I'm saying? It's like his offense is sputtering. How's he not responsible?
Here's the thing. I'll say I agree. It is scary the way Kyle Shanahan is trending to so conservative. Like if you just imagine him on the Atlanta Falcons, he was considered to be too aggressive and maybe too aggressive in that Super Bowl. And you know what I mean? And so now he's trending to this way. It's kind of scary, but I will tell y'all one thing though. I'd be scared to let Kyle Shanahan go though, because whatever team he goes to goes crazy, and you would just be like, bro, we weren't patient enough, we didn't appreciate him enough, and then you're just living that forever torment though, because he gonna go crazy at the next team though, and like that, and then a part of us would be like, damn, why couldn't it happen here and be hurt? It's scary. It's more scary to let him leave than it's scary to see what he'll do if you just let him just develop with this talent and give him the extra benefit of that. So as much as we're criticizing him, none of us want to let him go. You don't want to see what that looks like. Could be hell. That could be hell on earth.
1,000%. 1,000%. And I've never once said fire. Shit, I've never heard me say fire.
No. We're all just talking. I know, I get that, you know.
No, better adjustments.
Yeah, exactly. And what just happened is kind of like what happened earlier. Yeah. But
coaches to have within their limits.
Yeah.
And get the most out of everybody that's on the field that you can get. And don't do these perfect schemes that your team that you have on the field can't execute.
Dude, if you have Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, you have C-Mac, it's like all I'm saying, bro, is you can have every single play that you want to call in your playbook, right?
Yep.
And if there's a progression that is to be made through those four players every single time that they're on the field together, and your quarterback can't get to the progressions, how hard is it to make the one that you want the ball to go to be the one that gets the ball, bro?
Yeah,
Jimmy can't do it.
No. At that point, P, what I'm saying is Jimmy's not supposed to do it. You're supposed to do it for him. Tell him who you're supposed to get the ball to.
Yep.
In the one of every play that you call, that's who you want the ball to go to. Now they may be the 1, 2, 3, or 4 within that play, but they are still the number one person that ball is going to for that particular play, because that's per se the first read. So at that point, that person needs to be Kittle someplace. It needs to be Debo someplace. It needs to be C-Mac someplace in the best facet. Like there's no excuse for.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell y'all one thing. Why we might not be getting the best Kyle Shanahan, because I believe in his mind that he's created a new clock with 2 different moves. Just making the Super Bowl and then drafting Trey Lance. Because now Trey Lance, unfortunately, and it's unfortunate that he got hurt, that actually buys Kyle Shanahan some time, because you got to see Kyle Shanahan with his quarterback before you fire him for sure. That's facts right there.
And that's why the offense ain't what it was, because they designed everything for Trey Lance. He had no inkling to have Jimmy out there. He don't want Jimmy out there, truthfully.
Facts. No. That's facts.
And that's why it's a struggle too, because they all of the OTAs, mini camps, everything was designed for Trey Lance to develop through these games, to rely on the defense and the running game to get to the playoffs to where they could unleash the young man. But unfortunately, he got hurt. Kyle know what he's doing. Jimmy was never in the plan outside of what they did with the contract. That's why he ain't getting no playbook, because you was never supposed to be there to have a playbook, bro. You was never supposed to be there. But now on some level, boy, hold on, let me finish. Now on some level, he got to eat it now because you can't foresee injuries. So now you done made a bed that you got to lie in. So now you got to put your pride to the side and put your team in position to win, because you got a Super Bowl roster, and then you didn't added this star running back who could. Come on, man. I agree with y'all. When the boy was out there, man, the offense looked like, damn, this is what it's supposed to look like. Okay, and then when they got in the red zone, I was with y'all. Y'all should have been running him in the red zone, throwing screens, because you got to get the ball out of Jimmy's hands, because Jimmy gonna kill it. He gonna kill it. He gonna be the death of it. Him.
My bad.
So, Uncle said something like, the longer that it goes, the more likely he's going to outthink the play.
True. And that's the problem.
Let me ask you.
I agree with that.
Let me ask y'all this. Regarding this Sunday game, if we lose this game, are we in trouble, guys?
We was in trouble last week.
Well, if they lose the game, they're going to be in trouble.
In regards to this Sunday game, are we in trouble?
Yes.
They'll be in trouble if they lose it going into the bye week. They need to win going to the bye week, coming out healthy, and then making a run. So, yeah, they got to get this one.
You got to get this one, bro. Coming through that bye week, because if you come in on 2 straight losses, it gives you so much time to think about it. Think about it. Think about how the mentality of an athlete or just a competitor. It could be me. I don't really want to lose twice and then before I play you again, get a long time to think about it, because that's going to linger in my mind and maybe change the way I go forward. You know what I mean? Everything's about confidence and your mentality as far as it goes. And so I feel like, especially against a divisional opponent too, because we haven't lost it in the division. This is a huge game. That's probably why a person like Debo that maybe is on the fence probably needs to lace him up, because this is a big game.
Thank you, Niners Warriors, for your comment. Niners Warriors said, I agree that they designed everything for Trey, but it has been 6 weeks and he should have adjusted his scheme for Jimmy by now. Kyle is slow at making adjustment in his decisions. I agree with that. I've always said that. Yeah. I would say this, in my humble opinion, guys, as always, and I've said this many times, man. Our offense, man. Even though our defense has been playing not like how they were the first 3 or 4 weeks. These 2 last weeks has been very disturbing. Along with that, what I was saying before in many of our shows, I've always wanted our offense to carry the weight. They have to score points. That is the offense job. Yes, Kyle has to make changes. I've always said that. Jimmy needs to capitalize on situational plays when he needs to, as far as when the opportunity is right there for us to score. Thanks. Our offensive line needs to give Jimmy time to throw that ball so we can be successful. Our offensive weapons need to catch the ball when it's right in between the numbers. I'm repeating everything I've previously said. Along with that, there's going to come a time, and P. Warrior, I said this on your show last night. There's going to come a time Jimmy's going to have to do more as far as with his legs and get out the pocket, because the offensive line, they're up and down. They're up and down. Kudos to Aaron Banks. He's been doing a great job. He has not gave up a sack yet.
Right.
Yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my thing is that there's gonna come a time. Like I honestly, real talk, like I mentioned before, I'm not worrying about the defense. I'm not worrying about the defense at all. That's going to after this Sunday's performance, they got to correct that, and I believe they will.
I'm a little worried about the defense, though.
Yeah, but again,
what we're watching is
the offense. They're going to have to carry the weight, guys. They're going to have to put up more points. Period.
So,
That's it.
what you saying, Jizzle?
I'm a little bit worried about the defense as far as like no Armstead and no Kinlaw. That's been a big missing part of our defense is getting that interior push, and I think it really could have helped us against Mahomes last week. Definitely will help against Stafford because what quarterbacks don't like is straight ahead pressure. There's the pressure that comes. You can't step up in the pocket when the guy's right in your lap. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's a big thing we're missing. And I feel like nickel corner is a big thing that's different now. I don't know why they wouldn't have just went Womack, but they played Jimmy Ward at nickel last week, and we got torched. Like
I don't think they got confidence in Womack right now.
Tiki Torch at a BLM rally or something. Like, man, he was like, and you just can't have Lenore on the outside either. Like, so we've seen two things that just don't work. That's why we almost like probably need Verrett. And so two things I'm worried about on the defense there, right?
But Jizzle, Demo was nickel. Demo was
they had Jimmy Ward at nickel.
No. I'm saying before.
Yeah, he was.
And then all of a sudden they put Jimmy Ward there. No, all of a sudden Mosley got hurt. And they brought Demo over. Well, Demo started out as a corner over there, and Embry beat him out. So we already know Demo. As fans, we already watched Demo come in, and he was the man over there.
The first 3 games, he was a beast, though. First 3 games, he was a beast.
He was. No, and then it fell off. Whatever happened, it fell off. But he was that dude. The first 3 games.
Yeah, he was the 3 games.
What I think they trusted Lenore at corner because we know Mosley went out.
How can we trust him when he wasn't there last year and Embry Thomas was one playing in the playoffs?
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
That's bad management. D'Amico's fucking up.
I just think they trusted Lenore over Thomas because his physicality and probably much more that we don't know of. That goes back to what I said on your reply, Jizzle. I think you mentioned something last night. I prefer Dante Johnson at that position and move Lenore back at nickel. And that's just me.
I don't know. Yeah, we never know. You never know.
We got to work. I don't want. Just me. I don't think they should bring Verrett yet. I always said after the bye. I've always said that.
You're probably right. You're probably right on that. But what I would say though, it was a bad decision starting Jimmy Ward with a club on one hand at nickel. Like, how do you even do that?
And when's the last time he even freaking played nickel? Like, we're talking about
a couple years ago. Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. What are
we doing? Yeah, no, I'm not giving D'Amico's fucking
horrible decision. Horrible decision. That's why you got 44 points put on you.
Facts, man. This team is unprepared every week in every facet of the game, meaning every coach is unprepared, and we're watching it. They're so unprepared. They're down to the point that they're playing the players that were stopgaps in positions as stopgaps out of their wear, creating more stopgaps at the positions they already had fit with the stopgap. What are we talking about, bro?
Yo, so let me ask y'all this. Have we lost trust in our coaches and our coaching staff?
What?
No, I've lost a little trust. No, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I lost a little trust because this is, look at the talent on this team. Like you can't even blame anything because the talent just is so ginormous. It's like, why are we underperforming every week? Like, why are we losing to the Bears, getting and having the most penalties at this, at that stage? Like, that's what lost us that game, and just being undisciplined in all facets. You know what I mean? The head coach is the one that's Sabonis is supposed to be preaching that mentality of not beating yourself. Let's beat the opponent.
We just spent 2.5 hours talking about coach and culpability and accountability. And that's what this is about. Week, full practices, putting people in the best position to win. Yes, we've lost confidence in our coaches. We just spent 2.5 hours on a 2-hour show talking about that. And if that don't prove it, then what does it? We can name individual plays, but the whole picture is ugly. This is a coach that coached this quarterback to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. See?
Okay. So it's not just individuals. This is a team.
Facts.
It's being led by coaches, and we are not performing. This is probably one of the best teams that we've seen in quite some time.
Right.
And anybody objectively looking from the outside to the inside is wondering, with this talent,
there ain't no excuse.
Why are we 3-4? Why have a guy running 8.2 yards per play, gaining? Did we stop using them when we're trying to come from behind?
See,
when somebody can answer that, then I'll stop worrying about the coach.
Hey, all I'm saying is what people don't understand, and I hope what this front office understands, and every player that is in that locker room. You trade for Christian McCaffrey, and you are who you are, and we've been through what we've been through, bro. Please realize that anything less than a Super Bowl, and they talking shit. Every media show, every outlet, like there ain't no more. The 49ers have built their team from the ground up. They bring in a couple down. It's just like the Warriors bringing in KD. When the Warriors bring in KD, and it's like, oh no, well y'all, there's really no one talent wise that now with who y'all have, weigh it out. Everything was must win for the Warriors. There ain't no anything less, and that's where the 49ers are at without winning a ring. And I hope Shanahan understands that, because he cannot afford any longer to be egotistical. He cannot afford no longer to be naive. And here's my biggest problem. The biggest problem where you can say without a doubt that Shanahan is responsible, because we all know this defense ain't what we thought it was going to be because of injuries. But now we've experienced
because of injuries. I was just about to say that because of injuries.
Of course, because of injuries, 1,000%. We were looking at being one of the best defenses possibly ever with what we did have. But that ain't where we at, and that ain't where we've been at. So we're at a position now where he knows his defense can't even get off the field on third down at this point right now. So
5 weeks ago on the very podcast, we said we're not going to finish the season with the same team we started with. And the key to the season was going to be making adjustments that are made necessary by both injury and circumstance. We said that right here on this podcast. So to be surprised at all is inexcusable. The other part of it is we need to make adjustments. And that's the key and the theme of this.
Yeah, facts. It's definitely passes, Niners Warrior for sure. Kyle gets no passes, 100%. Yeah, D'Amico's ain't even really like that, but it's just like there ain't no excuse. There is no longer excuse for Demo to be over there. He needs to go back to nickel, and that is what it is. There is absolutely, but now they're saying they literally are saying that Jimmy Ward could be going back to nickel full time.
This is not a good time to decide that going against Cooper Kupp. Like, you just don't start changing.
Talk about it, bro. Talk about it. We talking about the man.
You got to put Demo inside on Cooper Kupp, man, and take your chances outside with somebody else.
Say it again, if you were who?
I say you got to put Demo inside against Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp still going to make plays, but in the last game, he held his own. You can't put Jimmy with a club against Cooper. He's going to get 8 alive.
I agree.
You got to put Demo inside and take your chances outside with either Beretta, Thomas, or somebody else.
Jimmy Ward did take the club off, though. The cast is off for Jimmy Ward. He said he's going to try it without it. So,
okay, well, let's see.
Yeah, he did. He took it off. I'll send y'all the tweet. He took it off, and they show he took it off, and he made a one-hand catch or whatever without it. But yeah. I don't
Let's see.
still trust
I don't
him.
know.
I still don't trust him at nickel when he just
Not
came
against
back
Cooper
and he
Cup.
ain't played it in years. You gonna put him up against Cooper Cup? Because
Nah.
if I'm the Rams, I'm like, run that, please. That's
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, guys, great conversations. I appreciate y'all point of view. I hope y'all appreciate mine.
Yeah.
I appreciate yours. I love it.
With that said, guys, what will be the theme for the 49ers victory, guys, for this Sunday?
At this point, it's desperation. It has to be desperation from everywhere up, because the only bright side that we have about anything right now is the fact that we're 2-0. And if it doesn't get together in our division, and if it doesn't get together quick, winning the division could end up in a situation where that's the only way we get into the playoffs if we continue to move at this pace. So this game, we have to be desperate. This game, you have to win, because not only will it give us 2 wins on the Rams, it gives you 3-0 in that division. And that's what's most important.
Yeah, gotcha. Anybody else, guys, before we head out?
I'm gonna say this.
I say
Get the
okay,
ball.
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Jizzle. Go ahead. You good?
I say the theme of this victory is gonna be a player on the team I call Barry White, because he run like Barry Sanders, but he white. I feel like he's gonna go ham. He went for 153 yards against them just a couple weeks ago, and now got Kyle Shanahan putting them out there, putting them to work and unleashing them.
Thanks.
It's coming out party for them.
What's up, P. Ward?
No, I was gonna just piggyback off of what Jizzle said. You got to get the ball to McCaffrey every way, shape, and form possible. You got what he had 25 touches against the last time. Yeah, that's about what it's gonna take. Passing, running, you gotta. But then too, man, it's a gut check game, man. Do you really want it? What y'all about? You know what I'm saying? Just you gonna lay down or you gonna stand up and do what you gotta do. You got punked by the Chiefs. Matter of fact, I was getting my hair cut this afternoon, and my barber is a Chiefs fan, and I had to give it to him. I'm like, man, y'all the shit. Y'all tore us apart. You know what I'm saying? That just wasn't no doubting it, denying it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But come on, man. Yeah, it's the Rams, and we done beat them 7 times. But you don't think the Rams won't kick us, man, and put us down more? So
for sure.
come on, man. It's like, come on, man. Where your heart at? Where your guts at? Now I always say these boys got steel guts. Well, come on, you better show it this Sunday. You gonna get murked again out there. So I ain't, come on. What y'all gonna show? Y'all gonna show hard or y'all gonna fold? You gonna stand up or you gonna fold? What is gonna be? Well, I think they're gonna stand up. I just don't think this team, with all the talent and the people that's in that locker room, gonna let it slip. Nah, God forbid it happen, then well, I ain't gonna be happy, but that's just me. But I think they're gonna stand up and get it in. So I ain't got no choice. Y'all gotta get it in.
Yeah, man. Because ain't they 3-3? They 3-3. Like,
yeah, it's like, come on, man.
It means just as much to them as it means to us, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. So
especially as 8 in a row, 7 in a row, regular season. Yeah, bro. Every time. My bad, Mark.
You good, bro?
Yeah, bro.
What's up, Uncle Keith?
No excuses.
Okay.
Point blank period. Keep the shit simple. No excuses. Stay in your lane, do your job, execute. If it's working, don't stop doing it because it's not a part of your plan or your theme or your scheme. And if I got to hear that we stopped using them because it was working, because he didn't practice enough, I'm going to eat my hat on this podcast. Y'all, look, it's a new hat too. I'm going to show you. It's got my name on it.
It's fresh.
But we need
to be good for your digestive system.
Just kill the excuse.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got stomach and a dog to help. We good. And it ain't cooler.
I will say this in regards to this game this Sunday. it's always physical between the 49ers and the Rams. It's going to be a physical game. They know each other well. They both don't make too much adjustments. If we need to, so be it. Will it happen? Well, I hope so. With that said, in regards overall as the team, I just hope they trust their preparation. That's what it comes down to. Trust their preparation. It's only you can only play one time that day. You know what I'm saying? Trust your preparation. You know, those past 7 games that was previously played, it's in the history books. Now it's time to trust your preparation and then act upon it. Period. That comes from the front office head coach all the way down to the quality control. Trust your preparation. Period. On that note, guys, love you guys. Appreciate y'all y'all
Yes,
opinions.
sir.
We
Love
about to be
y'all,
out
fellas.
here, guys. All right.
All right. Good night, everybody. Y'all be
All right, good
safe.
night.
Sir. Good night. Peace.
Peace.